All right, everybody. Hey, a new intro, a new everything. We now are Lights Out Sports. The guys have not changed, just the music, just the intro, and just the title. We are also now, as we said, there's going to be some big announcements. Let's pull ourselves up here a little bit. How you doing, Cheese?
Well, that's a good question. So my fantasy team, not so much. So, I have Jerry Jeudy on my fantasy team. It felt like watching the Browns game. He had the glasses with the big nose. You're trying to hide yourself,
Yes.
wearing disguise. It was almost like Jeudy in disguise with glasses.
Okay. Oh, man. So
Did
you'll
you
see
get
at
that?
the end of the show, we are myself and some other podcast people, along with Cheese, we are getting ready to do our own thing. We are combining together. You'll see it right up there in the top left-hand corner, all gloves off sports media. And with our show, it starts today. It starts now. And this show is so big. It is on my personal Facebook. It's on our YouTube channel. It's on my X account, and it's on Cheese's X account. So without further ado, we have to do some kind of walk-up music. You're darn right we do. Here we go.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
I love the walk-up music.
Oh,
10 seconds remaining.
it's new. Hang on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, this is Lights Out Sports with myself, Mike Valentine. There's my buddy Cheese over there in the corner. We got all kinds of stuff to do today. We have Major League Baseball to talk about. We're going to do stats for every team. We're going to talk about the Roberto Clemente Award and more. Then we're going to go into college football. And of course, we're going to look at what we're looking most forward to this coming week. We're going to look at the biggest winners and the biggest losers from last week. Already got a couple people here commenting. We'll get to those here in just a second. And we appreciate each and every one of them. We're also going to do the week 3 biggest losers and the biggest winners. We'll talk about all of that, plus Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and ESPN. Then we'll jump into NFL. And once we get there, just wait. We'll do something pretty slick there. So you'll see it all happen right here on Lights Out Sports with myself, Mike Valentine, and my buddy Cheese. Cheese, before we get going too much, man, since it's a little bit different show layout here, we'll talk to our people, see if they like the new show layout. We'll change some things up here. But your YouTube is not displayed on the new layout. Tell me, sir, where can we get you at on YouTube?
Yeah, usually I wait for a shameless plug, but you right away. Let's just do it. Yeah,
Right away,
yeah,
man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. At Football with Cheese, and football with, and then cheese is CHEEZ, like Cheez It. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, all that. I do about 4 videos a week, college football and NFL.
All right, excellent, buddy. So you know how we start this thing, right? The 5 flaming 5 and 5. We're not changing that. So we move ourselves over to here. We can't change that, right?
Crap. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he's like, no, the pressure.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. If you guys have never seen this before, 5 minutes. I'll put the timer up here in just a second. Once I complete the first question, Cheese has 5 minutes to talk about everything. And then if he gets all 5 questions answered in the 5 minutes, we'll talk more on the 5th question. But let me give you the first one. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel can't beat Georgia. Is one coach not being able to beat one rival team, even if they have success within their conference, a reason for him to get fired?
I don't want Tennessee to fire Josh Heupel. The previous 4 head coaches, definitely 3, were not good. He has done more for the program since anyone since Full Former. So I don't want that, but it's concerning. And it's the first few years, sure, Georgia was way better than Tennessee, but he's done a great job recruiting, turned the program around, but he can't win that game. And they had so many opportunities. And honestly, I'm a Vols fan. I was not happy. Not at all. He should have won that game. It's the one team he hasn't beat. He can beat Alabama. He can beat Florida. He just cannot beat Georgia. And for some reason, they always just do something to lose that game. But no, he should not be fired.
All right. Let's go to baseball for a second. Who is going to get that final wild card spot in the National League, Cheese?
Diamondbacks.
Oh. And why do you think the Diamondbacks are going to do it? You know what? Let me set this up a little bit. Here in just a little bit, when we get to our Major League Baseball talk, we will do a stat for every team that's still left in the conversation. And of course, the Diamondbacks are. So why do you think, Cheese, that the Diamondbacks, after they've sold off and everything, are still going to be able to make that final wild card spot?
Because they're playing better. The Mets have been one of the worst teams in baseball the last 2 months. And, well, Diamondbacks, they've had some bullpen issues, but they're playing well. I believe in them. They've underachieved. You know this. They've underachieved all year. So even though they sold, they have pieces. So I think they take it. All
right. Man, you're rocking and rolling this thing, man. We might have a few more seconds than what you usually have. Like, you're down to the wire. But let's see. Maybe we'll get you with this one. Based on what you said on your YouTube channel, Football with Cheese, do you really think the University of Florida may only win 5 games this season? And if so, why?
If that. They'd be lucky.
So you're not even thinking they're going to win 5.
I'm going to pull it up. They might not win. They might win 4. They have 1 win, right?
Correct.
Let's look at their schedule.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is taking all my time. Okay, it's taking way too long to find them, but they have the hardest schedule in the country. I see they might be favored in 2 or 3 more games the rest of the year. And they're bad. They're bad on offense. Their defense is pretty good, but I do not see a lot of wins there. They're very undisciplined. They don't do a lot of little things right. I cannot see Florida winning. 6 would be a successful season based on what I've seen so far.
Okay, so we're going 5 or 6, and that's it. That's the most they're going to get, 6 wins.
Their schedule is the hardest I've ever seen. I mean, they literally play Miami, Florida State. They already lost to South Florida. It's brutal.
All right, you're probably going to have to rush through this one, so let's get you. I believe that the Thursday and the Monday night games should always be standalone games. But you said you'd enjoyed Monday night because there were 2 games on. Why did you enjoy it so much?
So when we get to our top 10, I'm going to actually talk about this. But
okay, good, because so am I.
Yeah, good. Okay. Just to spread things out. I don't want 9 or 10 games at 1 o'clock on Sunday. I think it's better to see more games, to have more access. Like college, you have so much access. There's games all over the place, all different times. NFL, it really isn't. And they put so many games at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and I don't like it.
All right, buddy, 30 seconds here. So let me give you this last question, all right? So how many drafted NFL players do you think Clemson has? Go.
Next year?
Yeah, this coming draft. How many people will be drafted from Clemson?
8 for sure.
Okay.
It could be 10 or 11. 8 for sure. They're going to have 4 or 5 top 50 players.
Wow, 4 or 5 top 50 players. Yeah. All right, buddy, you did it. Man, I am so proud. You've done it every time for the past 3 or 4 times, man. Certainly certainly love you. Yes, yes. All right. So then now, since you did it, let's go on with that question a little bit, right? Because we saw Clemson. I'm sure we're going to talk about Clemson more here in just a moment, because the first thing we're going to do is our college football spread offense here in just a second. So is there talent there?
So much talent. They have some absolute studs. Peter Woods. They have T.J. Parker on the defensive line. They have, well, Avion Terrell as well. He's a cornerback. I don't know. I can't remember if he's the one that was hurt, but they have some guys that have gotten hurt. Thanks, Ricky. And I don't know what to do with Cabe Klubnik, the quarterback. He has not played well. He's more turnovers than touchdowns. But Clemson, and they have 2 offensive tackles that are absolute studs. I really thought they would be a top 4 seed and win the ACC and compete for the national title, but it's not an overall. It's not working. Whatever it is not working. But they have some studs, and I don't know if it's Dabo. I don't know what the problem is, but the offense certainly isn't working despite the talent.
All right. So then that's kind of where I was going here. So if it's not the talent, is it the coaching? Do you think maybe it's the division they're in? Is it the schedule that they played? Why are they no longer a top 25 team, Chiefs?
Their defensive line should dominate. It's absolutely loaded. It's so talented. I don't understand why, but Dabo is one of those guys that won't do transfers. Maybe he's too old school and too stubborn, and he's had a lot of success, and maybe he needs to go, to be honest with you. I hate to say it because I like Dabo, but apparently he's not big into transfers. And all these other schools, LSU is a great example. Miami's another one. They had a lot of holes. They lost a lot, but they filled most of them with transfers, and they're very good. So you can get 20, 25 transfers. You can do that. So you don't want to get 70 transfers like UNC, and no one's ever played together. But I feel like that may be the issue. They're really strong at some places, but obviously maybe look weak in others.
All right. Well, let's stick with this theme for a moment, and let's jump into our college football talk. Now we're going to go over to the side here a little bit, shrink ourselves down. Look at this. Best part about us is when we're small, but we are going to do an intro to each and every segment now, because we are now teamed up with All Gloves Off Sports Media, and here we go. Go, Cheese. What do you think? Look at that.
I think that every time we make a good prediction or a good take, we get like a sticker on the helmet. Like it builds up throughout this piece. Like, you know what Ohio State does, and we just get a sticker. It's either your face or my face. We build it up. One side is yours, one mine. I think that's.
Well, now you're asking me to do a lot with this graphic, but okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want you to have more work. If you don't work enough hours,
yeah. Oh, man. All right. So, what game are you most looking forward to in week number 4?
With the music, I now hear your question.
Okay, that's fine. We do this. I'm doing it 2 or 3 different ways, trying to figure out how I'm going to adjust everything. Is that better for you? All right. So, let's just turn it off. Okay. All right. You turn this part back up because I want to be able to hear you loud and clear. I'm running everything through the mixer here. I'm trying to figure all this out, but I like the graphic in the background, man. We'll get all this going here. So the first question is, what game are you most looking forward to in week number 4 of the college season?
We might pick the same one, but clearly there's the most important one is Illinois versus Indiana. I think this could be an elimination game. I think the winner is in great shape. I think the loser is in a little trouble. I think especially Indiana, if they lose, they have a harder schedule. Illinois, I think the only ranked team they have left after this is Ohio State. I could be wrong, but Indiana, they do play at Oregon, at Penn State. But if they win this game and they win out, and that's their only 2 losses, then they're probably going to get in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But if Illinois loses, they don't have a stronger schedule. So they lose to Ohio State 10-2. They might have a little harder trouble getting in. But that game has the most on the line. What is your pick?
Yeah, we're going to pick the same game here. I mean, so I believe this. I'm going to take it a little further than what you were doing, right? So the playoffs will have the following Big Ten teams. Unless something catastrophic happens, we know Ohio State's going to be there. We know Penn State's going to be there. We know Oregon's going to be there. And I think the Big Ten will only get 4 teams. So we know those 3 will be there, right? So then that 4th team is going to come down to Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and maybe even USC. Michigan's kind of a floater thing here, but
Michigan's not going to make it. They don't have the offense. They don't.
Okay, so I think that final spot will be one of those 4 teams. And as you just said, depending on who wins the Illinois at Indiana game this weekend, I think that really gives one of those teams a big leg up into being that 4th and final Big Ten team in the college football playoff.
I agree. I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
Auburn, Oklahoma isn't as big, but they're both 3-0. That's an elimination game. Both of them play SEC schedules that are rough. The loser of that will have lost to either Oklahoma or Auburn, so they're done. Their schedules are both really tough, especially Oklahoma. So I just want to bring that game up because the loser for sure is probably done. I mean, Auburn, they look better this year. They could win 6 games. They could win 9. But I think Oklahoma has to win that game because their last 5 games are against ranked teams. So they got to win that game. So I just want to bring that one. That is also not as important, but it's still pretty important.
All right. So let's move on to the second thing, which 3. So in week 3, who was the biggest winner in week 3, Cheese?
Easy. Texas A&M. Went to Notre Dame, who was a runner-up last year, beat them on the road. And like we talked about, it's an SEC schedule. Although Texas A&M, I think Tennessee has the easiest SEC schedule. A&M might be the second easiest. So, but you can't lose to Notre Dame. If you lose Notre Dame and then you play an SEC schedule, you're probably losing 3 or 4 games. But they won. And that's a huge win because Notre Dame's schedule was really easy the rest of the way. We'll talk about that in the poll later on. But Notre Dame could go 10-2. And that on the road, that game could look really good to the committee. If there's any team in the SEC that could make a case for being 9-3 and getting in the playoff, it's Texas A&M because of that victory. What about you?
Well, I'm going to pick somebody different this time because I think, first of all, Arkansas is a team that's going to beat someone before it's all said and done this season. Yes. I think Arkansas is going to upset somebody. I really like that team. And because Ole Miss beat them over the weekend, I think that they were the biggest winner. They're gonna have a team in Arkansas where nobody was really looking at them when the season started, and now all of a sudden they're going to be like, yeah, that's a good team, and that's going to give Ole Miss another leg up on where they might be when it comes college playoff time. I just want to mention a couple of the quarterbacks here. So Talon Green, 305 yards passing and 115 yards rushing. One of those great dual threat quarterbacks, and I'm sure before it's all said and done on Cheese's channel, Football with Cheese, he'll be talking about them going to the draft here real soon. And then Trinidad Chambliss, he is also a really good quarterback, threw for 353 yards and rushed for another 62. So I really liked both of those quarterbacks going back and forth. And they Arkansas lost by 6, and the Arkansas quarterback, Scott Stark, Stark, I'm still going to say Stark. He missed 2 field goals, and they lost by 6 points. So there's your game right there. I think if he makes
Yeah, Taylor Green's incredible. He really is. He's huge. He's like 6'5", 6'6", like 230 pounds. He can throw, he can run. He's a nightmare for defenses. I don't know how good a pro prospect he is, but he is a nightmare. And so many SEC teams, like you said, Arkansas, I think they could beat anybody but lose anyone in the SEC because their defense isn't very good. But he's going to give some teams nightmares, and they have a brutal schedule, of course. They're going to upset some people, like you said.
Absolutely. You guys that are listening to us right at the moment, 40 people strong right now. You guys can comment too. All you have to do is click the comment section, type it in, no matter where you're listening to, where you're listening at us. You can certainly do that. We love it and appreciate it. Talk about college football with us on the chat. We'll put you up here on the screen. So the week 3 biggest loser, Cheese. Who are you thinking is the week 3 biggest loser? We may pick the same team here as well.
South Carolina, for sure.
We're not.
Okay, we're not picking the same team. They lost at home to Vandy 31-7. Lenore Sellers did get knocked out with a concussion, but I don't think they win anyway. You can't lose at home to Vandy if you want to make the playoff. You just can't. Vandy looks pretty good this year, but they didn't just lose. They lost 31-7, and their playoff aspirations, there's the injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Concussion, you never know. Could be 1 week, could be 4, but that was brutal for South Carolina.
Yeah, they didn't look good at all. They looked almost lifeless after he left. I mean, it was like he was their lifeline, their heartbeat. And when their heartbeat left, the rest of the body just kind of collapsed. But I'm going to go with Tennessee because Tennessee should have won that game. I'm sure you watched that game from start to finish like I did. Man, they started off hot. And I'm thinking, Tennessee's going to do it, right? And then I don't know what happened in the middle of the game there. You know, they talk about that 8-minute window, right? The last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And that's that window right there that a lot of not only college but NFL teams talk about. They lost that. And because they lost that, they allowed Georgia to come back. So now they have to win out, in my opinion, in order to go to the college football playoff. And then they're crossing their fingers and toes and just hoping. So instead of a win, what we're talking about is this. And we should have been talking about a win. And that's why I think Tennessee is the biggest loser, because they set themselves up to win and then they blew it.
They don't have to win out, but they can lose one more game. That's it. And you're at Florida, at Alabama, Oklahoma at home, Vandy at home. It's going to be tough. Arkansas at home. They can only lose one more game. They went 10-2 last year and made it. They lost to Arkansas and Georgia. Those were their 2 losses last year. They still made the playoff. Didn't go well at all. But now they can only lose one more game. If they had beaten Georgia, they were in the driver's seat with one of the easier SEC schedules.
All right. Last one of these little kind of hit and miss kind of things that we do here before we get into our X marks the spot poll question, which we will do here in just a moment. We've had some great feedback on that. Appreciate all of you guys who did that. Cheese, who should not be in the AP top 25?
This may surprise you, but I actually have no problem with the AP top 25. I think that's the 25 teams I'd have, to be honest with you. I looked at it. Looked at all the receiving votes. I tried to think of something. I think that's the 25 I would pick. Yeah. Does that disappoint you?
It's not that it disappoints me, but I certainly don't agree with it. All right.
I know you don't because you asked the question. I know there's some.
Yeah, there's a team, right? There's actually, for me, there's more than one, but I thought there would be at least one team that each of us would pick that would not be in that top 25 right now. And again, you guys at home listening to us, you're driving, don't text us while you're driving. But if you're at the house listening to us or whatever you're at there, you're at a party and you're just, gosh, this place is boring. Let me get out of here. Well, then hop on over here and say, hey, I got to go for a minute, guys. And put a comment up there and we'll put you up here on the screen. All right. So this team is 73rd in passing yards, and they are 204th in total rushing yards. They're 124th in total yards in their first 2. That should give you a little hint. In their first 2 weeks.
Okay.
You can't have a top 25 team that's 73rd in passing and 204th in rushing, in my opinion. And currently, that's Notre Dame. Now, I know they have faced 2 really good opponents because I know that's what you're going to say, but
Yes.
they've lost to both of them. They are an 0-2 team, and they are in the top 25. Would I keep them close to where if they continue to win, they might be able to climb back in the top 25? Yes, I would. But currently, are they one of the top 25 teams in the country? Absolutely not. They're 0-2.
I think they're one of the best, probably the one of the best 20 teams in the country. Do they deserve to be in top 25? I don't know, but I'll say this. They lost by 3 to Miami at Miami. They lost by 1 point at home to Texas A&M on a 4th and goal play where their player got held. I mean, so he was tackled. I'm not a Notre Dame guy at all. I usually but I'm just saying that they are a lot better than. I mean, they lost to 2 teams that are ranked. Let's see, Texas A&M is ranked 10th. Miami's ranked 4th. We know they're, probably going to be 9-3 or 10-2. So I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Right now, they shouldn't be there. Just
I
like right now,
who should be though? Like South Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State, TCU. I'm looking at the teams. Arizona State. Those are the people getting votes. BYU, Tulane, maybe Tulane. I just didn't see a team that I just thought, oh, they definitely need to be on there. Notre Dame doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so let me give you this one then. Instead of saying should they be in the top 25, I'm going to ask you if this team should be in the top 10, the way they have looked over the past few weeks. And again, I know they lost to the number 1 team in the country, but Texas looks terrible.
Yeah,
should they be in the top 10?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and see, I feel the same way about Texas that I do about Notre Dame.
They beat Texas El Paso, I think that's who they played. Could be wrong. 27-10. You win that game, but you're supposed to win that game by 50 points. Right. Texas has not looked good at all this year. No, they shouldn't be in the top 10.
Now, I know I've kind of said some negative things over the past few minutes. So, Cheese, I want to give you the chance to pump somebody up, right? So I'm going to ask you this question.
Yes.
Is there a quarterback out there in college football land that's doing really, really well that nobody's talking about that you want to talk about?
Yes, absolutely. And I know a lot of people, hate on Alabama. And they look bad against Florida State. But it was not the fault of Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson is a redshirt junior. He was a 5-star recruit. He lost out to Bryce Young, stayed at Alabama. Lost out to Jalen Milroe, stayed at Alabama. Now it's his turn. He has been incredible. He was running for his life against Florida State. He took so many hits. The dude he's just so good. And I was looking at why is no one talking about him? And I looked at some draft analysts, people that aren't really draft analysts, they act like they are, and they would not stop talking about how inaccurate it is. His accuracy sucks. This is the most accurate quarterback in college football. Against Louisiana Monroe, it was Louisiana Monroe, sure, but he was 17 of 17. He started something like 13 of 14 against Wisconsin. He was 24 of 29. The dude is completing 72% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yes, he does have a good receiving core, but he's putting it on their hands. He has been incredible this year. And maybe because they lost to Florida State, but he was so good in that game. It wasn't his fault they lost. And even Wisconsin game, I'm watching, the offensive line was getting beat on some of them. He's running around. He's running away from it, running around, still making plays. Ty Simpson, to me, right now, would get my vote. I don't have a vote soon, hopefully soon. I would vote for him for the Heisman Trophy. I think he's the best player in college football so far.
Hey, buddy, if you stood here with Lights Out Sports, now that we're a part of All Gloves Off Sports Media, I'm sure you're going to have that vote before too long, man. Just stick with us, buddy. You'll be good.
I should have a vote.
Oh, yeah, you should.
I should.
Absolutely, you should. So here's we're going to call it the X marks the sports spot poll question. And it's this: which college football team is in the most danger of not making the college football playoff. And I gave everybody 3 choices. 2 of them are really close, and one is in a distant there. I think they kind of agree with you. But let's look at these 3 teams. Again, which college football team is in the most danger of not making the college football playoff? You've got about 52 more minutes to be able to vote on this. Almost 1,000 people have, and we appreciate each and every one of those. 1,000 people or so have looked at it. We've gotten over 50 votes. Clemson, Tennessee, Notre Dame. Cheese, you tell me which one you think first, and then I'm going to reveal to you what our fans think. Clemson, Tennessee, Notre Dame, which one is in the most danger for not making the college football playoff?
The most dangerous Clemson, for sure. Because the Georgia Tech loss is not going to look good. I don't know how good Georgia Tech really is, but I don't see them being like 11-1. It's not necessarily how many losses, it's also who you lose to. Right. So I just think Clemson, they've lost to LSU, they've lost to Georgia Tech. The way they've played, they're going to lose. They could lose 2 or 3 more games. So I think Clemson for sure. But I'm a little surprised. Now, I haven't seen the latest results. I looked at it hours ago that Notre Dame got as many votes, because if you look at the Notre Dame schedule, they're going to be favored in every game. So I think Notre Dame actually, of those 3 teams, has the best chance, believe it or not, even though they're 0-2, because of the schedule. I think Clemson, Tennessee, it's going to be tough.
I just think you're trying to make Cowboy Reggie happy right now. That's what I think you're trying to do. We got a buddy out there, Cowboy Reggie, big-time Cowboys fan, also big-time Notre Dame fan. He and his son support us a lot. In fact, we'll plug it. Sons of Star podcast. Watch it when we're done here. So, let's look at the poll results here real fast. So, again, here's the question. Which college football team is in the most danger of not making the college football playoff? We gave you Clemson, Tennessee, and Notre Dame. So third on the list with 9.4% of the vote is Tennessee. Second on the list with 41.5% of the vote, 41.5%, Notre Dame. And the team that has the most votes out of these 3, 49.1%, is Clemson. So, I'm a little surprised that Notre Dame got so many votes. And you know what? We're going to use that as
Notre Dame. People hate Notre Dame. I get it. Tennessee should be higher, though, but I get it. And, I agree with the vote. About half the people pick Clemson. I get it. They just don't look good, especially offensively.
So then we're going to jump into the Notre Dame thing here for a second. So, Cheese, did Notre Dame schedule everything right?
No. Well,
but you can't argue. So, but you're saying they're 0-2, but yet they have the best shot of those 3 teams that's still making the playoffs.
Yeah, because I miss when they played Michigan State, Navy. Like Notre Dame's schedule, you never know what to do with it. They're not in a conference, and I hate that. That's my biggest problem. They do play an ACC schedule, but like 4 games. But their best chance to lose, in my opinion, is at Arkansas, who's not ranked in a couple weeks. So their hardest home game left is probably USC. They do play Navy. Okay. But at Pitt, versus Syracuse at Boston College, I
got Boise State in there.
But they did play Miami, and they did play Texas A&M. They lost to them. But if they win out, look, we have 2 great losses. Boise State, yep. Sorry, I forgot about that one. NC State, and at Stanford won't help them at all because Stanford's going to be horrible. But
right.
I guess these games, they schedule these games first. They thought they'd probably win at least one of them, if not both, when they scheduled this. And they easily could have won Texas A&M. But I still think, that they can't lose another game. But I could definitely see them winning out. So I still think they have a good chance. And the other 2 teams, Clemson, they already have 2 losses. Tennessee already has a home loss in conference. So because of that,
it's Georgia, though.
It is to Georgia, but it's a home loss in conference, and it's SEC. SEC is deep. So I'm gonna, yeah, I still think of those three teams, Notre Dame has the best shot to get in the playoff. If they win out, they'll get in the playoff. If they lose any more games, they're done.
All right, so that was going to be my next question for you. You just kind of answered it for me. I'm going to ask you if they win out, does the committee forget their 0-2 start?
Yes, because who they played. They played two very good teams, and they won. Yeah, if they lost to someone, who finished 5-7, in the Big 12 or ACC, probably hurts them, probably knocks them out. But no, if they win 10 straight, they'll get it.
Okay. So if you can see the helmet spinning in the background, we're talking college football right here on Lights Out Sports with myself, Mike Ballantyne, and Cheese. We'll have different graphics for different one. Major League Baseball will be next. And let's just say it'll be fire. Let's just say that. All right. So do they have to win out, Notre Dame? Does Notre Dame have to win out to get into the playoff?
Absolutely. They absolutely have. Their schedule is not like we just looked at it. It's not very good. So they have to win out. And 9-3 did not get you in the playoff last year in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go at least 10-2. So yes, they have to win out.
All right. So then let me make a prediction right now. 2 weeks from now, this coming Saturday, Notre Dame plays Purdue. The Saturday afterward, I said it earlier. I kind of foreshadowed this for you guys a little bit. I said this team's going to knock somebody off, and I think it's going to be Notre Dame. So my prediction is going to be Notre Dame just blasts Purdue, and everybody's going to be back on the Notre Dame bandwagon. And then next week, Arkansas is going to beat Notre Dame and knock them out of the college football playoffs.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking. I wouldn't be surprised at looking at Taylor Green film now and ignoring Purdue because Purdue sucks. But I would start looking. I would start looking at Arkansas film if I'm their assistant coaches. Absolutely.
All right, sir. So 2 coaches. This is our third of 4 questions here for our college football spread offense that we're doing right now. So 2 coaches were fired on Sunday: Deshaun Foster at UCLA and Brett Pry of Virginia Tech. Were both firings justified, Cheese?
I'm curious what you have to say on this, but obviously I'm going to go first. I'll start with Brett Pry.
Okay.
I think so. They underachieved last year. As you know, I analyze the draft. It's a big focus of mine. I watch a lot of college film in the spring leading up to it. And Virginia Tech had a lot of talent last year, and the record should have been better. They should have been a better team. There's a lot of good Virginia Tech talent, rookies on NFL rosters. So he underachieved last year, and they hung with South Carolina. Okay, they didn't win. Good. But then they lost to Vandy. It wasn't really that close. And then they got embarrassed at home to Old Dominion. I mean, I don't know what happened. They shouldn't have lost the game, let alone get blown out. But something wasn't right. And I don't know if the players decided they weren't playing for him anymore. Something just wasn't right there. I think it was time to move on. And he got over 3 years. He got 3+ years. But Deshaun Foster, he had 15 games. This was the start of his second year. Chip Kelly, didn't leave it in the best situation.
Very true.
Usually you want to give a guy 3 years, maybe 4, get their recruits in, a whole new class. The Nico Mama, I don't even want to say his last name, transfer didn't work out. They let Joey Aguilar go. That was a disaster for them. It's helped Tennessee. Absolute disaster. I don't know if Deshaun Foster was the one who pushed that. If it was, I could see it. But if he wasn't, you got to give a guy at least 3 years. I don't know. There could be more to it. Could be he lost the locker room. I don't know. But to me, Deshaun Foster deserved more than 15 games. What do you think?
Well, I'll do the same thing you did. Let me start back with Brent Pry for a minute, and I agree with you. When you've been there for 2+, is it 2+ seasons or 3+ seasons? 3.
This was the start of his 4th year. So
this was
he had 3 years to, yeah.
And you get, if you're that far along in your tenure, and you get blown out at home by Old Dominion. I mean, I thought that was
embarrassing.
Right. I thought that was a freight line company, not a college football
They didn't
school.
lose 32-33. They got dominated.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of I turned to that game. I couldn't believe it. I turned commercials for other games. I was turning to it, ACC Network. I could not believe it, but they were dominating the game. Old Dominion was dominating.
It's like a car accident. When you go past it, you just have to stare at it, right? So every time the commercial break come on, you had to flip back over to it and be like, gosh, are they still getting embarrassed? Yep, they are. They're still getting embarrassed, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand that firing completely. I probably would have done the same thing. You got to send a message, right? This is unacceptable. And it's a whole lot easier to fire one than it is a whole team. So you fire the coach and you get somebody else in there and you see what can happen for the rest of the season. As far as Deshaun Foster goes, I think if it wasn't UCLA or one of these other supposedly top echelon schools, this wouldn't have happened, not 15 games in. But UCLA is proud. UCLA thinks that they're one of the biggest teams in the Big Ten. I don't think they are personally, but I think they think they are.
When was the last time they were relevant? I can't remember. Did they have Troy Aikman? Was it when they had Troy Aikman? Like literally, like I can't. I'm trying to think. Who was the last like successful coach there? Neuheisel didn't do it.
Chip Kelly.
Neuheisel wasn't very good. That's the last one I remember. I know. Was it like Carl Durrell was there? But even I know Jim Moore Jr. was there, right?
That's true. That's true.
And he had winning seasons. He went to bowl games. That's better than they have now.
Right.
But you're right. They think we're UCLA. We should just we should just win 9-10 games a year. And they're not a program that's been relevant for decades.
No. So I don't think that firing was justified, but I think that firing was done because they're UCLA. And that was it. We're the powder blue and we need to win and you're not winning, so you're gone.
Deshaun Foster, I feel bad for him, but you never know. Like I said, there could be something. He could have lost the locker room. There could be more to it, but if there isn't, then he got a raw deal. All
right, so I don't know if you want to explain this or you want me to explain this, but let me ask you the question first. You can probably explain it a little better than I can, actually. Would you blame players who would now redshirt for one of these two teams and then hop into the transfer portal?
No.
So do we want to explain to people what we mean by redshirt and then transfer?
Yeah, so basically they can leave the program and transfer to another. A lot of these players that are recruited they're recruited because of the head coach.
Yes.
And they go because of the head coach. It was kind of an issue with NCAA basketball where people would sign letters of intent, before their junior year was out because of the coach, and then they go to another school and they want out, but they already signed a letter of intent. It was, you should wait. But I wouldn't blame them if, you came there for that coach. If you came to UCLA for Deshaun Foster, played in the NFL, was a very good player. If you came for him and he got fired and you think it's a raw deal, I don't blame them at all. It's kind of a mess, and I wish I knew more about the UCLA situation. There's not a whole lot online.
Which makes it even that much more intriguing, right?
Yes, I think we'll find out more as it goes, but What do you think?
So I'm not a big fan of the transfer portal. I understand that teams have to take advantage of it because if they don't, they end up like Clemson this year. Yeah. But I'm not a big fan of it across the board, and I certainly don't think there should be two transfer portals. But we'll get into that probably later on in our discussions.
I feel like we're gonna do probably in the off season. I think we should do a show really focused on the transfer portal, go over all the ins and outs. Probably in next year, early next year, because it has a lot of positive, but also a lot of negative effects.
Yes, I agree, and that's a nice thing for everybody to look forward to. So we'll plan it sometime in January. We'll even pound that out there. Sometime between the beginning of the year and the Super Bowl, we'll put that out there. What about? Are you a fan of in-season firings? Because personally, I'm not. I think if you can make it to the end of the season, you probably should keep that cohesiveness together and see what happens instead of trying to fire somebody, especially this early in the season. I mean, 3 games in, and you're already deciding. Shouldn't you have had some kind of inclination at the beginning of the season that this guy wasn't the right guy?
Well, you never know. UCLA started 0-3. They could have started 3-0. You just don't know. But there are 2 reasons that you would fire in season. Only 2.
Okay.
And that's if the coach or manager, depending on the sport, lost the locker room and you need just a new voice. And you're competing for something big. And sometimes it does help. Or you want to go ahead and get started in the search, which is not the case probably here. Like you want to go ahead. Like I've seen it in the NFL where they fire a coach with like 4 or 5 games to go and they go ahead and start interviewing. They want to get started on the search, get ahead of it. But otherwise, yeah, I agree with you. There's nothing good can come out of it. Like sending a message, it's not like UCLA is going to all of a sudden be great because they got rid of Sean DeFoster.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of that. Last thing that we're going to hit on here, and then we're going to get into this game day operations center, which we're going to do a video. Like I said, we have now teamed up with. We got a much nicer platform here. We're doing some things different, and we're really investing some money and some time. I'm going to give some shout outs here in a second to some people as well that have kind of gotten us to where we are right at the moment. Cheese, if you want to think about that and doing that, you can certainly too. So we are now with All Gloves Off Sports Media. And you're going to see this show continue to improve, be on more platforms, and you're going to see some other people join the podcasting realm here in our sports media environment. So we'll get to that here in just a second. One of those things that we can now do is play video right up here with everybody else. You guys can see it. We'll show you that here in just a second. Last question on this whole firing 2 coaches already. Who do you think is the next one to go? Let me give you a few examples that I have, and then maybe you'll use one of those or come up with one of your own. So who do I think is the next person to be fired? I figure it might be Gundy of Oklahoma State. Probably maybe Napier in Florida, which I'm going to bank that's who you're gonna pick because of your great relationship with the Florida football team. Trent Dilfer possibly in UAB, and even though it would cost them $27 million, I think Luke Fickell has worn out his welcome in Wisconsin too. Do you want to take any of those 3, or do you want to pick another one off the shelf, buddy?
No, those are good ones. Let's just start with Luke Fickell. I mean, they're 2-1. They lost to Alabama. Give them the year, see what happens. Here's the thing with Mike Gundy. He has been there since he's been the head coach since 2005.
Okay,
and they have given him. He's had some really good years. He's gotten to the conference championship multiple times, and he's done well there. He's at one point I think he'd won 80% of their games. I think it's gone way down. This is not working. It's time for a change. I really thought they'd get rid of him last year. It is time for a change. Just to get at this point, he's got to be pushing 60. It's just time to get a new coach. So that if I'm them, yeah, you hate to do it in the middle of the season, but it's time to get a new coach at Oklahoma State. But Billy Napier is a dead man walking. They're a disaster. They're an undisciplined team. Desmond Howard absolutely called him out in the pregame show. I don't know if you saw him. He talked there a minute, just absolutely. But he's not wrong. And Florida, the reason they're not firing him is because they don't want to lose a recruiting class next year, just in case it turns around. And that's it. So I just feel like
got a bunch of lemons up here on the screen.
So I'm going to get her for that. I think it's time to move on from Mike Gundy. What do you think?
Mike Gundy, yes. I think Napier in Florida is probably going to go before everything's all said and done. I'm not sure about Trent Dilfer just because of his name and UAB, a very famous NFL quarterback.
They're 2-1. They're going to lose to Tennessee this week, but
right.
I mean, look, give them the year. They lost to Navy so far. Navy's pretty good. Like, give them the year. But yeah.
And then I don't think Luke Fickell will get fired right the moment. I do think they're disappointed in him. When he came over from Cincinnati, they thought he was the next big thing, and he's turned out just not to be. But they signed him to a huge contract, and like I said, it will literally cost them $27 million to fire him. So I don't think that's going to happen. I will say this, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, and then we'll jump into this whole thing with the ACC, ESPN, and then something called the Game Day Operations Center. I can't wait to get your opinion on this. Does it depend more on who the coach is now, or does it depend more on who they can get in mid-season to be their coach?
You talking about like the firings?
Yeah. So if they fire, if they fire Napier out of Florida, well, who are they going to get right the moment in season that's any better?
Just some interim coach that basically what you do. I don't know how it's done in college, but I know in the NFL what they do with interim coaches is they talk to the players, they talk to the captains, and they say, which coach do you want to play for the most? Is it a special teams coach? Is it the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? Sometimes it's a receiver coach. Just they talk to them. So I don't know if it's the same in college, but that's what they do, and that's who they usually ask. But usually you just pick someone you think can maybe rally the troops, keep it together, maybe keep the recruiting class together because it's different college because you got recruiting. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think it really depends on that, right? I mean, why pay two people if the next person you're going to bring in is not going to be any better? I mean, unless you've got somebody that's the offensive coordinator that you really trust and believe in, or that your players really trust and believe in, then no. I would say no. You can't do that. Before we get into the ESPN Game Day Operations Center, I want to do this. Paxton Logan, that's Ricky's son. He turned 8 years old today, man. Lights Out Sports celebrates you and your 8th birthday, buddy. Hope you're jumping around the house right now saying how you can't believe that you were mentioned on, the best sports podcast in the nation right here on Lights Out Sports. All right, I'm going to put us over here to the side for a second because I'm going to bring up a video. We're going to add this to the stage, and then we're going to play it. Now, let me set this up for you a little bit here. This is from the Clemson-Georgia Tech game the other day. It's about
that Virginia William Mary score. Ooh.
It's about a 3-minute video, but I wanted to show you exactly how it all went down, and I want to get your opinion. I'm sure you watched this game, and you probably saw this.
I watched the whole game.
A lot of our fans maybe didn't. So I want to see if they like what ESPN and the ACC network did here on this particular game. Let's go ahead and start it, and let's do that right now.
Looking end zone. Back in the end zone, finds a crosser, and that's Josh Sapp. Toe tap, touchdown. Great eyes by Klubnik, looking back to his left, and we're a play after away from a tie. Timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
This is a great throw and catch executed by Clemson. See that the ball slipping out of his hands.
That was a scary collision back there as Clayton Powell-Lee,
I tell you,
ran right into his own man. I think Rodney Shelley.
Well, I think they're going to take a look at this. I don't know if he has control of this ball when he has his foot down. That ball looks to be coming out. There's the hands. That ball is moving right here when you look at it from the other angle.
And I think you're right. The Collaborative Replay Center is going to take a look, and we can listen in.
I think this is pretty neat. Here we go, guys.
This is replay. Stop the game. Reviewing the score. Reviewing the catch.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Yeah, we were looking at replay.
I mean, he has it through the ground, so I'm not worried about that.
No.
It's this action that he's fiddling with the ball. I'm looking at program A.
Hey, Todd.
Yes, hey, Adam.
This is Adam. The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you two shots. I'm gonna show you the handheld. This is the handheld right here, and you can see he's got a body part down, but his ball is pinned against his lower leg right there with the tops of his hands.
Keep going.
Body part.
And then he's out there, right? And then he's still fuddling with that ball.
Okay, on that shot right there,
And then he gets control, but he's
You can hear the Georgia Tech fans see it.
lost control with a foot in the white.
I don't think he has control there.
I agree with you.
And you can see this that we don't believe he has control at all. By the time he has control, he's out of bounds.
Yeah, he's way out.
Hey, take a look at high end zone real quick.
Now they're going to give you another
All
view.
right.
Not C. Go to multi.
Go to A.
Look at all those cameras they got.
Never lose the ball. Never lose the ball there.
Yeah, you know,
Guys, I've got
tell
it
you
up on that
much.
sideline shot to show no control, incomplete pass.
I would agree.
Okay, so after further review, the pass was incomplete. It's going to be second down at the 2-yard line of the left hash.
Yes,
Correct. Clock is good.
Second and goal at the 2. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there for a second. Now, I'll get this off of here. Give me just a second to remove that, pull us back up here. So I really like that, personally. I think that's pretty neat. For you to really be, and not only can you see the play, you can see the different angles they have, and then at the end they were like, okay, so is the time good? Is the placement? Where's the ball? Which hash is it on? So they're going over all of that stuff all together. So this is my first question for you, Cheese. Do you like this? Real simple. Do you like it?
I mean, yes.
You're not convincing me, sir.
I mean, it's good, but I think it's going to lead to some problems. But I'm sure that's going to be your next question.
Well,
But
I don't know. So
I prefer to hear it than not hear it.
okay. So then I'm going to ask you, should this be the new norm in college football? Should this be on every game, every broadcast, every time there's a reviewable play? We, as the fans, should get to hear this.
I want to hear it.
Okay. But you just said there's going to be some problems. So what are the problems that you see if that's done?
The problems are going to be is there's a play so close that's too close to call, and they're talking, and everyone's human. People say things, and someone says something that's on there that it probably shouldn't have said, or there's a disagreement, or you can't. I feel like they're going to do more obvious calls. Maybe I don't know though. You know, ins and outs, what they're going to show you, what not, all of them, or just some of them. But this could lead to, if we see the inside and they screw up, or there's disagreement, one person says one says another, then it's going to create even more controversies. I just worry this is going to create more problems. But of course I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to know why they chose what they did. I mean, they got that call correct. Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
Well, it's like you just said. So I was going to kind of save the negative part to the end, but we'll go ahead and do it right now because I think we're really diving into this here. You're giving people names, right? They each called each other by their first name. So you're giving people names. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant now. Hardly any of the waiters or waitresses wear their names on their shirts anymore because they don't want to give their names to the customers when the customers can't stand how they gave them service, right? So they just become nameless and faceless people. And what you're doing here is you're giving these Twitter warriors names, and they're going to be able to figure out pretty quick, oh, that was Tony, and they'll put a last name to him, right? Tony George, he was the one that screwed everything up, and now we're going to blast him online, and here it comes, and here's his family, and we're going to, right? So you're giving these people names, and then it's like you just said, that one worked out good because we agree, they agreed. But what happens if they disagree? And we get to hear that banter back and forth. And, when you're getting in a heat of a moment and you think something should be done one way and somebody else thinks something should be done another way, and you begin to, we'll just call it banter back and forth, right? It's like you said, something's going to be said. And then somebody's going to take offense to it. And it's just going to go all bad from there. So I think I have a solution to this. Would you like to hear the solution?
Yes.
So I believe they should make this available after the game.
One problem with that.
Okay.
They could doctor it. They could cut parts out.
And I would expect them to. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Of course they would.
Well, of course. And you should, right? They will beep out the names, but you could also almost have another show. I mean, think of it. Let's say ESPN does a show where they do nothing but review the calls of the college football games, right? College football in review, right? And that's all they do is they're like, okay, here's a controversial play between Clemson and Georgia Tech in the third quarter at the 9-minute and 27 mark, and then they show it to you, and then they show you the transactions between everybody. That's a television program that I would tune into. I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to see this.
That would be really interesting. Yes. You want to see the ins and out. The one thing about replay that bothers me the most, and this what worries me, is if you're watching that and they say, well, this is so tough. It's so close to call. Probably his feet weren't in, but they called it in on the field. So let's just leave the call on the field. And I hate that. I want to get the call right. It has to be conclusive. That whole term, they stopped saying that, by the way. If you notice, NFL referees stopped saying conclusive. There's no conclusive evidence. They stopped that.
Yeah, baseball still does it, but yes, football does not.
It should not have to have conclusive evidence. You got to get the call right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, baseball is terrible about that. You see stolen bases, you see it all the time. But I just want the call right. And I just worry if they might say, well, let's just keep the call on the field because it's really close. No, get the call right.
I think it would really bring out a lot of different things if you would make it available afterward and almost make another show out of it. I think it'd be pretty interesting. It'd almost be like reality TV, but there's nothing you can do about it now because the game's already over.
People would watch it. Yeah, people would.
Oh, yeah, people would. I would watch it. 100% I'd watch it. So, yeah, pretty neat stuff. I liked it. I'm not sure if it needs to be the norm, but I liked it. And I thought it was a nice topic that we could jump onto here real fast. All right, let's move us off to the side again because we are now going to go into our Major League Baseball talk. And of course, as I said, you're going to be able to look at the screens now. For those of you who are like, I like college football, don't really like baseball, I'll listen again when we get to the NFL, you'll be able to know exactly what we're doing by the background that'll be on. So here we go right now. We are going to go into Major League Baseball. Yeah, I like it. Told you, it's going to be fire.
It's almost like it's lights out.
Yeah. Like we've got a theme going here or something, right?
Yeah, perhaps.
All right, buddy. So there we go. Major League Baseball on Lights Out Sports with a pretty neat looking, cool background. And we're going to start the show this way. We're going to talk about the Roberto Clemente Award. It represents the game of baseball. And this is how it's quoted on the Major League Baseball website. The Roberto Clemente Award represents the game of baseball through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions both on and off the field. So that's what the award represents. So here we go, Cheese. This is the Good Guy Award. Is it okay to be a good guy in sports?
It's a great thing. We need more of it. You want the good guy, you root for the good guy. I love this award, and we need more of it. And when you see who's nominated for each team, you're like, oh, okay. You think about it like, that's awesome. You start, I just respect that player so much more.
All right, and I'm with you. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna like it a lot enough to where I'm actually gonna tell you exactly who's gonna be on the award here in just a second. We'll get to that. So it is okay to be a good guy in sports, then, right?
I would hope so. I think it's very positive. I think we need more good role models.
And I would agree with you, but being a good guy, I mean, nice guys finish last, and there are several sayings that we can come up with here. And I'm not sure if always being the good guy gets you rewarded like people think that it does. So, that's where I came up with the question at. So I don't know. I found this really good earlier, and now I can't find it.
Being a good person, being a good guy, how is that bad? As a professional athlete, how is that bad? Like, how's it finishing last? Like, there's nothing negative. You're a Major League Baseball player represented for an amazing award. Roberto Clemente's legacy is incredible. Like, what's the negative? Like, I'm not following. Like, it's
well, the
great.
Negative is there's a lot of people who think you have to be the bad guy, right? You have to go into second base with your spikes up. You have to, there are just things that we neither one of us like Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick was, he was successful.
He was the villain.
Yes, because he wasn't always the good guy. And
you either die a hero or you live long
that,
enough to become the
aren't.
villain. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Yes, 100%.
Harvey Dent said that in 2008, Dark Knight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to go through and try to, but now I'm sorry.
I see what you're saying now. Okay, I'm getting it, but I like the good guy, and who doesn't like Cal Ripken?
Oh, don't do that, because I'm gonna say things about Cal Ripken that you're not gonna like.
No, let's not talk about this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big Cal Ripken guy. Okay. I'll just put it to you this way.
Who doesn't like Tony Gwynn?
Okay, Tony Gwynn, I can certainly.
Who doesn't like Tony Gwynn? Tony Gwynn's great.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn's great.
Okay. So do you like athletes for being good players, or do you like athletes for being good people?
I want both. I mean, obviously, athletes have to be good players, or they're not going to be, But I'll say this. You might not like this, but when Theo Epstein built the Cubs, in 2012, he took over, and they were a disaster, one of the worst teams in baseball. He built them up. He traded away the veterans, built the farm system up. And when he won the World Series and they interviewed him on the field, he said, I wanted great players, but also great people. They're good people. I wanted a great locker room. I wanted people getting along. I wanted leaders. I wanted people in the locker room everyone liked. That was not verbatim. That's, not his quote, but, he said something similar. So I want both. I want players that are good athletes, but also great locker room guys. I want that cohesion.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much you can do with that. I mean, can you really have both?
The Cubs did in 2016. It worked. Name
sure
a villain on that team. Name a villain on that team. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know the team extremely well. Let me see here. I'm trying to find. Okay, here we go. So I can give you a list of some of them. Let's not go through each and every one of them. Well, you know what? Let me see if this one will give it to me. Yeah, this one will give it to me. Let's do this real fast here. So, by the way, I have some breaking baseball news for those of you who like that kind of thing, and I do.
Is it Julio Franco? It's not even the
No,
Braves?
it's not Julio Franco.
No.
It doesn't involve
Okay.
the Atlanta Braves picking somebody
Okay.
up off the waiver wire today, sir.
Shocking.
It does involve someone who has been injured for the last week or so and is not going to come back at least until the playoffs. And this may really hurt this team. Bo Bichette, they announced earlier today, is not going to come back at least until the playoff race for the Toronto Blue Jays. So if you're a Blue Jays fan right now,
Poor Fries.
that can be bad for you.
My friend Fries, he's mourning.
Yes, but I will tell you that the Blue Jays, Jose Barrios is their nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. The Orioles is Jordan Westburg. The Rays is Pete Fairbanks. The Sox is Liam Hendricks. The Yankees, Carlos Rodon. Bo Naylor for the Guardians. Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals. The Tigers representative is Tarek Skubal. The Twins is Pablo Lopez. White Sox is Mike Tauchman. And then when you go to the American League West,
Mike Tauchman, good dude. Used to be on the Cubs.
good guy. He is.
Really good guy. He really is.
Angels, Logan O'Hoppe. Astros, Josh Hader. Athletics is Lawrence Butler. The Mariners is J. Pete Crawford. The Rangers is Corey Seager. Now going over to the National League, your Braves they are represented by Spencer Strider. The Marlins by Griffith Conine. The Mets by Francisco Lindor. The Nationals by Trevor Williams. The Phillies by Aaron Nola. In the Central, the Brewers are represented by Sal Frelick. The Cardinals by Brendan Donovan. The Cubs, Kyle Tucker. The Pirates, Paul Skeens. And the Cincinnati Reds, Brett Suter. I'm going to do a thing on Brett Suter and a couple of these other nominees. I'm going to start doing this. It's going to be called Seeing the Whole Field. Now, I'm going to put a few of these things out on our YouTube channel the rest of the week, and you'll see them coming. I'll do them on a couple of these nominees as we get closer, because so each one of these people got their award now, and then Major League Baseball, after you, the fans, vote, you go to MLB.com/Roberto Clemente Award, and you'll be able to vote for the award. Lastly, here in the National League West, the Diamondbacks' Corbin Carroll is their representative. I'll have a great story about him. The Dodgers, Mookie Betts. The Giants, Ryan Walker. The Padres, Joe Musgrove. And the Rockies are represented by Kyle Freeman. So I wanted to throw out all of those names because, as you and I have both said, we think this is a really prestigious award. And I want to make sure that all of those people are recognized for what they have done. All right. No, wrong. I'm talking to myself. It's okay. Trying to get on the right one here. There we go. Go back to the studio.
You can talk to yourself if you want. I don't
Now
mind.
I can see you, buddy. So many more things to do here and so many more buttons to click, and it's careful throwing out that Epstein name. That's right, man. The Reds fans on this channel will beat you down. And then Ricky puts up here again.
Ricky, did you really go there? I said Theo. I said Theo. Not
you meant Theo. I didn't hear the Theo part.
Oh
so
my gosh, that was fun. That was really funny.
I didn't hear the Theo part, buddy. All right, so you can do what Ricky Logan just did. He's one of the people who was going to be on our All Gloves Off Sports Media. He and Roger will be doing the Red Hot Reds podcast. You'll be able to see all of that here shortly. In fact, you can see them now. You can go over to Red Hot Reds. It'll all be linked here with us again on All Gloves Off Sports Media. So not only will Ricky and Roger be doing their show, Cheese, his show, Football with Cheese, will now be here exclusively on All Gloves Off Sports Media, and Sirhan on sports. So all of us are getting together, putting our resources and our funds together, making a fantastic platform, and soon we hope to add more podcasts to this platform. All right, so I wanted to give you a stat for every AL and NL team that's still in the MLB playoff race. There are 11 games to go. None of this is taking into consideration tonight's games. So here are a fun fact for each one of these teams. So starting with the AL, Toronto is the only team in the American League, and actually the only team in baseball, to win 50 or more games at home. They're 50-25 at home, so you don't want to play them at home. Detroit, They have a 99.6% chance to make the playoffs, but according to a lot of the betting sites, only a 4.8% chance to win the World Series. Thought that was interesting. Cheese, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you all these ALs. We'll talk about 2 from the AL and 2 from the NL, all right? So Seattle, they are only 500 against 500 teams. So they're 42-42 against teams that are 500 or above. The Yankees have the largest run differential in the American League at plus 122. The Boston Red Sox, they have got over 2.5 million, that's third in the league, in attendance so far at their home ballpark. The Astros were in a tie for the American League West lead. Okay, so I messed that up. They were either in the lead or they were in a tie for the lead in the American League West for 135 consecutive days. But now all of a sudden, Seattle is in that spot. The Guardians, they're 9-1 in their last 10. And Seattle, you got to give them a little credit there too. They're also 9-1 in their last 10, but they have won 9 straight. And lastly, the Rangers, 34-44 away, or excuse me, 32-44 away from Globe Life Park. So if you can get them in the playoffs to where they're not at home, they seem to be pretty easy to beat. One last thing, we said Seattle is 500 against 500 teams. Well, the Red Sox are 41-33 against 500 teams. The Guardians are 36-47, and the Rangers are 38-51 against 500 teams. That'll come up a little bit later. But which 2 of these teams do you want to talk about with that stat that I had there for all of them?
Before that, I just want to add the Mariners also have not been good on the road. Much better at home. It's a humongous difference. I can't remember exactly, but let's talk about Toronto.
Okay.
They're 50. You say 50-25 at home?
Correct.
I have a theory.
Let's hear it.
They, in between innings, when they're on the field, they put maple syrup. They spill it all over the field. The other fielders just slip, and that gives them home field advantage because, Canadians, they put maple syrup all over.
Right. On everything.
They use it for pizza sauce. So, yes, instead of tomato sauce, they just put maple syrup.
Not sure if I could do that, but okay.
Yeah. But no, that's really impressive. 50-25 at home.
Yeah.
Toronto,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've I've never been to that stadium, but I've seen playoff games just watching on TV there. Those fans are so loud. It gets so loud. I would not want to play there for an opposing team. So
I'd love to go there and watch a game, though.
All right, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. We'll do the show live next Tuesday
if they allow me in Canada, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe not. You got another state you want to look at in the AL, sir?
How about you pick?
So, I am not an Astros guy, but this stat's impressive. They were either in the lead or tied for the lead for 135 consecutive games. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you play the Sisters of the Poor and the rest of your teams in that division. That's impressive. 135 straight days when they were either in first place or tied for first place. Like I said, not an Astros guy, just mainly because of the whole cheating thing that we don't need to bring up. Everybody knows about all of that. But that's still an impressive
Everyone does it. They get caught. But anyway,
yeah.
They got caught.
But
no, it is tough. And last year, they hardly were ever in first place. They ended up winning it. They came on late. They were not in first place much at all last year. Right. So, yeah, they're only a half game out. So it's still a coin flip, but Seattle's certainly playing really well.
And then I have to point out, somebody on this show said that the Mariners were going to overtake the Astros. I can't remember who that guy was.
They haven't overtaken them yet. And I said the Astros.
They have overtaken them. They're in first place. I don't know if you know this, but the definition of overtaking somebody is being above them in the standings, sir.
The season's not over yet. It's like 2 weeks to go. So
12 games. 12 games.
Some teams it's not over yet. But Yordan Alvarez is hurt. Oh my God. The Astros, the biggest problem with them has been injuries this year. Mm-hmm. They have a very good team, but key players have been injured. So, but they're still going to make the playoffs, whether it be a wild card or division. But
that's true.
They still will.
All right, so let's go with the NL teams here for a moment. So the Brewers, they have the best record in baseball. hands down. I don't think we got to say anything else about them. The Phillies.
But not as big a lead as they used to. The Phillies are doing what Phillies have, almost caught them.
Yep, and that's because they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Excuse me. They also have the most strikeouts in the National League, by the way. Their pitching is really good, and they've got the Schwarber and that guy at first base named Harper. So
he's just the Schwarber now. He's not Kyle Schwarber. He's the Schwarber.
He's the Schwarber now. Hopefully he'll be a Red before too long. Hopefully this is his last season in Philadelphia. He'll come back home and come back to the Cincinnati Reds. That's my dream.
Back home to Chicago? Okay.
No, not to Chicago.
Cubs?
He doesn't live, and he never has lived in Chicago. God, who'd want to do that?
The Cubs. Okay.
All right. So the Dodgers. You're making me laugh so much I can't read my notes, man. Stop it. So the Dodgers, their bullpen has the most holds in the National League, and let me define hold for a lot of people, because they're just I'm not sure if everybody knows what a hold really is in Major League Baseball. It's pretty simple. It's this. They have to maintain a lead when they come in and when they're done, and then they have to record at least one out. So that's the definition of a hold. So the Dodgers bullpen has the most holds in the National League, 110, by the way, pretty good. The Cubs, let's look at them for a second. The best whip, walks, and hits per innings pitch is what whip stands for in the National League, 1.19. It's pretty good. Walk, hits, innings pitched in the National League, and they also have, this is a neat stat, I think. You may want to talk about this one here in a moment. The highest amount of pitches per inning, 15.76. So they have, that may play bad for them in the playoffs, but we'll see. The Padres are also only 500 against 500 teams. The Mets have allowed the most walks, 528 walks so far in the season. So they have the most walks in the National League. The Diamondbacks are one game out of the final wild card spot, and I'll tell you that before I give you this stat. The Diamondbacks have blown, you ready? 28 saves, the most in baseball.
Underachieved.
Even if that's just
they've underachieved. Yeah, if it's 21, they're in the playoffs.
If it's instead of 28, if it's 27, they're tied for the final wild card spot. So, 28 is just enormous. The Giants have the second most ground ball outs in the National League at 1,343. It's a lot of ground ball outs. And then I put the Reds as the last club that are still kind of sort of into this playoff race. They're 2 games out of the final wild card spot. Stop it. I saw you laughing over there. Ellie De La Cruz last hit a home run on July 31st. That's the last time that he has hit a home run, but their pitching staff's pretty good. They have the most complete games of any team in the National League. Now, when we talk about against 500 teams, I was doing this for everybody here. So the Cubs are 41-43. They're below against 500 teams. The Mets, 39-41. The Diamondbacks, 44-46. The Reds are below 42-43 by a game. And the Giants are 44-48. And it's no surprise. I wanted to point this out, and then we'll kind of move on here. The highest batting average. Which teams have the highest batting average in the National League? The Padres and the Brewers and the Dodgers. Not surprising there whatsoever. The teams that are really high up in the division seem to have good offensive numbers. So do you want to talk about any of those stats, or do you want me to move on and talk more about offense between the National League and the American League?
Well, you mentioned the Cubs. We got to talk about that.
Okay, let's do it.
There are 2 stats you mentioned. They lead the league in whip, walks and hits per 9 innings.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 reasons for that. They don't walk a lot of people. And the second reason, Tommy Hodovoy is their pitching coach. He's outstanding. He instructs them to pitch. They get a lot of weak contact. That's the Cubs' kind of pitching philosophy. He gets a lot out of pitchers that are like league average, but then you look at their ERA, it's like, wow, 2.8, 3.2. He's just a really good pitching coach. But they see the most pitches per inning, you also mentioned, and that's because they don't miss enough bats. They just don't. And that is going to hurt them in the postseason. And you know this, you have to miss bats. The teams that win have pitchers that miss bats, and that's why I've mentioned this many times on this podcast. The Cubs are probably going to play the Dodgers or Padres first round. I don't think they're going to be either one. I think they're going to be one and done because their pitching will not miss enough bats.
All right. Any other team that you want to talk about or focus on for a moment?
What about you? What's that on National League do you like?
Well, I mean, the biggest stat that makes such a difference is the Diamondbacks blowing 28 saves.
That's insane. That's terrible. That's horrible. That's hard to do.
And it's been done by like 14 or 15 different players too. I was going to throw that stat out there, but their bullpen has just been a mess. They lost their best pitcher in Corbin Burns. They lost their closer in Martinez. They traded away Shelby Miller, who was their closer for a while. And here's the thing, right? How can they still be in this playoff race when they've blown 28? They had 28 other chances to win a ball game and couldn't do it. And they're still only a game out. I think it's a testament to Torey Lovello and the rest of the coaching staff there with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, a lot of people wanted him gone, but it's amazing. Detroit did this last year. They sold and made the playoffs. In Arizona, they have a great chance to do it again. But God, their bullpen has been a disaster, and this tells you that they're not a bad team. The bullpen was even just. You can imagine the bullpen was just like 10th in the league.
Right, average. They would
be. We wouldn't even be talking about them right now. We're talking about another team stat.
Yeah, certainly would.
They'd probably be pretty much in it.
And the other thing that I'll throw out here real quick before we get to our last two things in Major League Baseball is that I believe that when you give up a lead at the end of the game, that is the most demoralizing way to suffer a loss, right? You think you've got it, and then all of a sudden it just slips away from you, and before you know it, the game's over, and you're on the wrong side of the ledger. So,
yeah, I agree.
It can really be demoralizing.
Yep.
So, as far as the wild card, let's talk about the wild card for a second, and then we'll talk about the offense between the American League and National League, and then we'll jump into the NFL, and Cheese will be leading that charge for us here. Currently, there are no teams under 500 that are truly in the hunt. There are a couple teams that are right at 500, but there's no one under 500. I remember, let's just use the football analogy, right? There's been some conferences in football, and I think you had this discussion, and this might be something that we want to talk about when we do our top 10 here in a few moments. In fact, I'm jotting this down. No under 500 teams. Yeah, that's what I'm changing. For those of you who
that's
have
a good one. I didn't
Yeah,
have that one. That's a good one. Oh, good job.
So we're going to look at 5 things. We're going to do the top 10 a little different today. We're right now on our premiere episode of Lights Out Sports on the All Gloves Off Sports Media, and we're going to do the top 10 a little different. We're going to take turns. Cheese is going to give me 5 things that he would change in the NFL, and I'm going to give you 5 things that I would change in the NFL. I only had 4. I talked to Ricky Logan earlier and got the 5th one. I'll tell you which one that is as well here in just a few moments. So, yes, the NFL has had it before where it looked like teams under 500 were going to be able to make the playoffs. What if Major League Baseball does the same thing this year? One of these wild... All right, so can you still hear me? Can you hear me? All right, so you can't really hear me, right? I don't know what that is. All right, so somebody tell me, JC, are you still with me? Ricky, you still with me? Tell me if it's this end or was it Cheese? Because now Cheese is off. Somebody talk to me on the chat here. We're going to try to fix this here. If anybody's still with us, it shows about 75 people still with us, so we hope that's correct. Give us just a minute here. We're going to try to fix this audio problem. Cheese,
Can you hear me
still
now?
there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You could. Was I static?
Yeah, it was like all static.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting texts from multiple people that it was static, so I just left.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay.
I don't know what happened either, to be very honest with you. People are telling us it's better now. I see. All right. So, yes, I see the messages. And
Okay.
I know. We know the audio was messed up. We apologize. Have no I think maybe it was the lightning bolt up here. Maybe the lightning bolt up there got us and put us in this situation. I'm not 100% sure what just happened, but
I think Ryan Poles, the GM of the Bears, saw my notes and realized I was going to bash him later on the NFL segment.
oh,
And
maybe
he
that's what it was.
sabotaged my microphone.
All right. So this late into the baseball season, Cheese, we're going to go back to our baseball talk. Of course, you see the big baseball in the background. We got a little bit more to do here. So this late in the season, there are 6 National League teams that are vying for the 3 spots, and there are 5 AL teams that still realistically have a shot at one of those spots. I'm going to turn myself down here just a little bit. There we go. So do you think this makes baseball more exciting to have this many teams fighting for those last few spots?
Yeah, I mean, it does because there's more teams involved for sure. But I don't like when 83, 84 winning teams make the playoffs.
Right.
They're barely above average. So I want the regular season to mean more. So it's more exciting the more teams involved. But I feel like if a team wins 103 games, another team wins 84, does the 84 team really deserve a playoff just as much as the 103? Probably not.
and they'll probably get eliminated pretty much right away. But that's kind of the give and take, right? We have more teams, we have more fan bases, we have more eyes on the game, but then it also kind of produces a more watered down product, right?
Yeah, they're not always eliminated right away, though. Baseball is so different than other sports. You don't necessarily have this dominant home field advantage. I mean, it's better to be at home, but it's not like the NFL. So the NFL in the playoffs, you get the home game for the higher seed. You get 100% of the whole playoff round at home. Baseball, it's best 3 of 5, best 4 of 7. It's just a very small advantage. Mm-hmm. And I don't like rewarding a team that wins 84, 85, 86 as much as a team that, I just think too many teams do make the playoff. But I didn't like that playing game that when there was 5 teams, they had that one game.
There was a one game. It's like sudden death, right?
Yeah, that was terrible. I think it was the 2014 Pirates won 98 games and were one and done because Jake Arrieta shut them out. You win 98 games and you're done because the Cardinals won 99 and they won the division. So I don't like that either. Baseball needs to do something to make the regular season mean more.
Okay. So only 2 AL teams have a plus 100 run differential. I thought that was interesting. The Yankees and the Red Sox. But if you go to the National League, the Dodgers have 121, the Phillies have 125, the Cubs have 126, and the Brewers have a plus 173 run differential. So my question here is, do you like an offensive game more, like what they're playing in the National League right now, or do you like more of the pitching type of performance in a game like is being more played in the American League?
Gosh, the Mariners now have won 10 straight. I was just looking at it. That's such a good question. I mean, I like a good pitching duel, but at the same time, offense is fun too. Like I like both. Sometimes I'm in the mood for, the 2-1 games can be fun, but offense is more exciting too. 2015 wild card. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's backing you up here, and he's going to do it again.
Appreciate that. 100. Okay. I wasn't exactly sure, but I just remember they finished one game behind. Pirates won 99, Cubs won 8. Crazy. You win 99 games, and you're one and done because you face Jake Arrieta, who I think won the Cy Young. Like, shut you. You're done. There's one game. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate
thanks,
that.
JC. Appreciate you updating us on that. And that's what you guys can do for us, man. Throw all those messages on the chat board and add to everything because we'll put you up here. Go ahead, Chiefs.
The Yankees have scored more runs than the Blue Jays and given up fewer, but they're 5 games out.
Yeah, crazy.
Just noticed that. So, I mean, give me some offense, I guess. What about you?
I do. I'm with you. I think it's a really, really good question. But I have to say, so I'm going to put this into perspective a little bit just from my vantage point, right? So if it's my team, I want my team to go out and get the slugger because he affects the game almost every day. Mm-hmm. If you go out and get that dominant pitcher, well, he's only up there once every 5 games. So if you're going to, if it's the same cost and you're going to pay people, then I would say I want my team to get the slugger. But I'm also going to say this. I was looking at things, and in fact, I almost, if we wouldn't have had this podcast today, of course, this is my number one priority, of course, especially now that it's lights out sports and we're with all gloves off sports media, if I haven't plugged that enough times. But I would have to say that if I'm going to go watch a game, I usually go watch the game for the starting pitcher and not for one of the hitters. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another here, right? Like I was looking, the Giants are here in town against the Diamondbacks, and I was looking, okay, when's Justin Verlander going to pitch? Verlander going to pitch, right? I've never seen him pitch live, and I would like to see him pitch live. So something like that would get me to go to a game, even though I might not enjoy it because I'd rather see the offensive side of the game. You got JC doing something else here for us.
I saw Verlander once. He went six shutout innings. He was missing bats like crazy. It was really cool. But no, you do. You look up when you go to a game. You decide. You look up who's pitching, and if it's that really bad pitcher, oh yeah, let's not go that night. Yeah, that's what you do. You look at the pitchers. Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree. So then I also agree with JC here. Wild card series make more sense than the wild card game. Yes, 100% agree. Hang on. Now he's going to talk about Verlander. I want to get all this in before we get off of our baseball talk here.
Really cool. He was dominant when I saw him. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree, JC. I would love to see Verlander. I think he's probably the guy who's the closest to retirement right now that I would. So I heard that he's going to try to pitch one more season. And if he does, I'm going to try my best to get out to a game to see him pitch live. He's the guy I'm really going to try to go for to see live in this upcoming season. So, yeah, absolutely. Now, we said what we're going to do here, right? So, we got to switch all this stuff up. Again, you're going to be able to tell what we're talking about by what's in the back of us.
Like Angel Reese, the WNBA, the topic we're going to, is that?
Sure. That's okay. Fantastic,
okay.
Sir.
Yes.
And now we're going to switch to the National Football League. Here we go. Now we got the National Football League logo in the background with the football spinning around and all of that. So again, we're making this really good. Cheese and I talked about this a few weeks ago. We want to be able to do different backgrounds for different things so that you can just stare right at the television and go, oh, they're talking NFL, or oh, they're talking Major League Baseball, or we're talking college football. So the helmet is college football, the football is NFL, and of course the flaming baseball is going to be MLB all the time. And we'd love to get your guys' comments. Do you like all these things in the background? Do you like all the music that we're adding? It's a bigger platform, bigger thing, and we're really trying to do this right. And of course, JC's got to throw his WNBA part up there too. So yes, she
is the best bricklayer they've ever had in WNBA.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Cheese, we're going to jump into the NFL. This is your realm. Tell me, where are we going to start?
Let's just get right to it. What is the most surprising 2-0 team to you?
Well, it's got to be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
I didn't think they were going to win week one. They were scaring me to death. I'm like, really? We're going to let the Browns beat us? And that's my team. I'm here in Arizona, so I represent the Cardinals, but I was born and raised right outside Cincinnati, Ohio, so I'm sticking with them as well. Thank you. Appreciate that, JC. Throw this up here because, that compliments us. So we like compliments.
It's pretty cool. It looks like futuristic, like we're football from the future.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my surprise 2-0 team would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Agree? You want to pick another team, Cheese?
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just because they've won two close games that they easily could have lost. Easily. And Baker Mayfield hasn't been too sharp, but somehow they're dropping his interceptions. Somehow, he's pretty reckless. He'll take chances, but sometimes it works out. And I don't know if you watched my recap video. If they did not draft Emeka Egbuka, they're 0-2. He made some huge plays. They definitely lose against Atlanta. And I really believe they're 0-2 without him. He has been huge because Chris Godwin is out. So just surprising that they're able to come up with both of those ones.
Yeah, we may. I'm sure we're going to get to Joe here before it's all said and done. But yeah,
we'll do delivery. We'll get you some tequila.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So JC puts up here, he is not agreeing with either one of us. Most surprising 2-0 team to him is the Indianapolis Colts. What do you think about them, Chiefs?
Well, there's another one. The reason I didn't put them is because I feel like the Broncos made them 2-0, and they should be 1-1. I think the Broncos just gave them the game. So that's the reason I didn't put them. But, they're surprising for sure. Their offense is amazing. It's incredible. They put up 33 points against Miami, another 29 against Denver, who's got a great defense. So they're going to score a lot of points this year. So I get that.
All right.
So who's the least surprising 2-0 team?
Well, I mean, what? Buffalo, probably. I mean, we all kind of saw this coming, didn't we? Even though I said this the other day, I still think that that was rigged. I'm in that thing here where I'm doing the, come on now.
You love conspiracy theories. Yeah, I get it. I do too.
Come on. And I wonder how much the betting lines really affect this kind of stuff and all of that. It's when things like that happen, it makes me go conspiracy theory land. So, but I still think the least surprising is the Buffalo Bills.
I disagree because I did think the Ravens were going to beat them week 1. So they should have. So I went with the Cardinals because the Cardinals played the Saints and Panthers, and they should beat those teams. They didn't put them away like they should. They should have won by more in both games, but they're the least surprising team because of who they played. So I had Arizona Cardinals. So of the 0-2 teams, who is the most surprising?
No, for me, this one's a no-brainer. The Houston Texans. I can't believe I can't believe that they're 0-2. I know they played some decent teams, or at least one. And I honestly have not watched a snap of their games. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that I have. I have not. But they've got one of the younger, more talented quarterbacks in the league. And, it's always been that thing, well, if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to have anything. Well, they've got a good quarterback, and they still don't have any wins. So, yeah, the Houston Texans, without a doubt in my mind, 0-2, best or the most surprising 0-2 team on the NFL right now.
Absolutely. I have the Texans as well. Their offensive line is just horrific. They don't pick up blitzes. They don't pick up stunts. They don't communicate together. They're just an absolute disaster. And if you thought trading Laramie Tunsil would make your line better, like all of a sudden everything's fixed because they need to fix the line, it's just a mess. And despite that, they had the lead late against the Buccaneers. They only lost by 5 against the Rams. They held the Rams to 14 points and lost. If you hold a team to 14 points, you should win the game. So
true.
They were getting booed so bad. You didn't watch the game, you said yesterday, but they were getting booed. The fans just have had it with this offense. And they know the defense is good. So, yeah, I agree. Texans, they're a mess right now. So, of the 0-2 teams, who is the least surprising team to you?
Who's the least surprising 0-2 team?
Yes.
New Orleans Saints. I expected them to be 0-2. Now they gave the Arizona Cardinals, and that's what you're meaning by by your question, right? Which one doesn't surprise me at all that they are 0-2.
You expected them to be 0-2. You expect them to lose those first 2 games. If you look at this,
just making sure I got your question right.
Yeah.
I believe both of us picked them to have the first pick in the upcoming draft on the NFL prediction show that we did. So, yeah, I almost feel sorry for their head coach because I like him. I liked him when he was with Dallas, even though Dallas is not not one of my favorite teams or whatever. But the poor kid looks like a 12-year-old going up and down the sidelines, and he doesn't know what to do. So. The Dolphins, CJ or JC's also saying them as well.
He's not lying.
No, he's not lying. The Fins are awful. I'll certainly agree with that statement. What about you, Chiefs? Where do What's your 0-2 team that has not surprised you whatsoever that they've started off the season 0-2?
Thought about the Dolphins, but I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Imagine that.
They played the Lions. They played the Vikings, who went 14 and 15 games last year. So it's not like they're playing teams that were terrible last year. Can you hear me?
He is talking about you. That's what that means.
I have a lot of issues.
You have a lot of issues, yes.
Well, he's not lying again. No, but the Chicago Bears, they're an absolute mess. I did not expect them.
He means the Bears.
Oh, well, me too. I didn't expect them to beat the Lions. They completely collapsed against the Vikings. People always talk them up. It happens every year. It's happened 3 straight years. Justin Fields last year, we got the first pick. You got Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, 2 top 9 picks. And then this year, I mean, all the moves for the offensive line, drafted, Colston Love and Luther Burt. They're going to be amazing. They're going to compete in the NFC North. Everybody, the media, protects them and just acts like they're going to be amazing every year. And they never are. It's the Bears. They're still so poorly run. So it doesn't surprise me all the Bears are 0-2. It would not surprise me if the Bears win 4 or 5 games. They are an absolute disaster, and their defense is shit.
Now, is this just because you're a big Packers fan and you like picking on other teams in your division?
Is there anything I said that you disagree with? Like, they are a total disaster right now. You saw I did a whole deep dive on it. I did a lot of research.
Yeah,
on the Bears.
That was actually one of your better episodes over the last few weeks. By the way, if you guys haven't got a chance to go to his channel and see that, you can go to @footballwithcheese, and he did a really deep dive on why the Chicago Bears stink so bad. And again, he's not lying.
I appreciate that. I'm going to do once a month. I'm going to do a deep dive on why teams are bad. Probably going to do Jacksonville next. I may do a Saints one as well coming up. Those are the 2 teams I'm thinking about. But I did a lot of research on that. I appreciate you saying that. It was originally going to be like a 15-minute video, and then it ended up like 34 minutes. I knocked it down to 26 and took some stuff out. I didn't want to just knock Caleb Williams the whole time. But
right.
They're just. It starts at the top, and you check out my video on my channel. But it starts at the top. They're just not a well-run organization.
Yeah, so then the one you did today was really good too. I liked it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't finish it because it ran a little longer than what my drive home was. I got home and I'm preparing for all this stuff. So, but I tell you what else I'm preparing for. I am preparing for us to reach 100 viewers with us live. We're at 91 right now. 9 more. You guys.
Share it with your friends.
I'd tell Cheese to tell all his friends, but I'm sure they're already tuning in. So
I have friends?
Well, a couple. I mean, there's some people that feel sorry for you enough to call you that. So
okay.
All right, buddy. Where are we going to next in our NFL discussion?
So we got to talk about Joe Burrow. He has a grade 3 turf toe, basically where the ligament on his foot is ripped off the bone. Sorry to be graphic. It requires surgery. He's going to miss at least 3 months, if not the entire season, which is devastating because the Bengals are 2-0, and they're in first place in the AFC North by themselves. Yeah. Now, with Jake Browning, their backup, they did go 4-3 in 2023, and all 3 losses were to the Steelers twice and the Chiefs. They were good teams that year, but he went 4-0 against the teams he should have beaten. So he did go 4-3, so that's good. So basically, he won the games he should have, lost the ones he should have. Do you think he has a chance to have a similar record this year, keep them in the playoff hunt?
I mean, he led them back from nothing. I mean, he threw a couple of picks. He
3.
Was it 3? I mean,
receptions.
Cheese. But he, and I tell you what, he never quit. That was the guy. He just kept throwing, and you're like, me as the Bengals fan, I'm watching the game, going, stop throwing the ball, stop, right? And he just kept chucking it, and he kept chucking it, and he kept chucking it. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got Chase and you've got Higgins out there, so 2 of the best receivers in the world. And I know you're going to get into hypotheticals here in a moment, but I think I'm really going to get into a hypothetical that you're probably going to disagree with, but I'll throw it out there anyway. So, yeah, can he do it? I mean, I guess he can. I think he's going to, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will. Wasn't he originally drafted by Minnesota and they let him go?
You know what? I don't know.
I think so. So I think he'll have revenge
for me.
Yeah, one of you fantastic people out there in Lights Out Sportsland, you can fact check us there, or if fact check me. Cheese didn't bring it up, I did, but so I think if that's the case, he'll have revenge on his mind for this coming week, and then I guess JJ's not going to be there, so they've got some problems there in Minnesota too.
He has a high ankle sprain. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, so we'll just take it 1 week at a time. So I'll tell you this: I think he can win this week. But he's going to play he's going to play the Ravens twice, and he's going to play that Browns defense again. Yeah. So he's got some tough
Ravens are
tests
late.
ahead of him.
If somehow Burrow is able to heal himself like he heals faster, possibly he's back for those Raven games. They're both late. But I don't know. The schedule is brutal. Let me the next few games are at the Vikings, at the Broncos versus Lions, at the Packers versus Steelers. So that's brutal. But it didn't start to get easier. Jets, Bears at home, at Steelers versus Patriots at home. If somehow Burrow can come back right after that game, they should be okay. Then it goes at Ravens, at Bills, Ravens again. So they really need Burrow for that stretch. So if he comes back in 9 weeks, then probably not. But if he can come back, I guess that's 9-10 games.
Yeah, because their bye will be in there. So
yeah, they have a week 10 bye. So yeah, and then the last 3 games are Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns, and Browns and Cardinals are at home. And at the Dolphins, they're probably winning that. It's the Dolphins. So
yeah, it's true.
So we'll see what happens. I think the key thing is get Burrow back before the Ravens-Bills stretch, and they might be okay. So, all right. So,
could you hear the clapping, by the way?
I could not.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'm doing some different stuff with the mixer down here, so.
I was focusing on this, but go ahead.
No, it's okay. We just reached 100 followers live right here on YouTube. Let's see. And can you hear it now?
Maybe something wrong with my headphones.
No, that's okay. That's fine. I was just cheering our fans. So we certainly appreciate it. Lights Out Sports right here on the All Gloves Off Sports Media channel. And like I said, we're starting to add some stuff. We're going to do things fantastic. Just wait, guys. It's going to be more than just us. So stay tuned for what's to come. Where are we going now, buddy? More NFL talk. I love it.
We both picked Joe Burrow to win the MVP. So let's just say we have a redo. Okay?
Okay.
Who would you pick if you could pick now after 2 weeks to win the MVP?
Now, just to be clear, the MVP can be an offensive or a defensive person, correct?
This is picking offense. I don't know. This isn't like Clayton Kershaw can win the MVP. I don't know. Can you pick an offensive player? You're making me think.
Okay. All right. Fine. I don't want you to stress out and your hair be like mine or anything. So, you know what? I'm going to take somebody probably unconventional, and I'm going to take him more because I like him than maybe I think he can win.
Okay.
But I like him. I like the moxie that he has. You've talked about him a little bit already. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield from Tampa.
5 touchdowns, no interceptions so far. They're 2-0 on the road.
Yep.
I thought about him, but just watching Lamar Jackson, the way he's playing, he's so good. He's so good. Yeah, they're 1-1, but he's 1-2 already. If I could redo, when I picked Burrow, he would have been my second choice. So I'll say Lamar Jackson. All right.
Now, before we move on, do you think because Lamar has 1-2 already, Do you think maybe the NFL will kind of push him off to the side and be like, no, we want somebody new?
Possible. I really thought he was going to win this past year. It's funny. Josh Allen won it. I thought Allen deserved it 2 years ago, and Lamar deserved it last year, and they flipped. That's just
well. I mean, come on, Joe Burrow deserved it last year. If you're going to give him one, it should have been last year.
Okay, Joe Burrow did deserve it last year, but they didn't make the playoffs. But if I had to choose between Allen and Lamar each of the last 2 years, I would have flipped it. But it's possible. So if somebody puts up similar numbers, yeah, he probably won't get it. They want to give it to someone new. All right. So I mentioned this. I don't know if I sent it in the final notes, but I was going to go over our picks.
Well, okay. Let me stop you real quick, buddy. Before you do that, you wanted to look at scenarios, right? So let's say the Bengals don't think that their backup quarterback can win, right? And they go out and get somebody.
Okay.
There's a couple things here for me. I almost think it would be more beneficial for them to go out and get another running back than what it would a quarterback. You're going to hand that ball off. I don't know. If they could use a two-headed monster right now with Chase Brown and somebody else, I think you go out maybe and get a really good running back off of one of these teams that aren't going to do anything. What do you think about that scenario first?
I don't love it because Chase Brown's not the problem. He's a good running back. The offensive line's bad. The offensive line's just not good enough. You can get a running back all you want, but it's just not a great offensive line. They're not playing well this year. I don't love going after a quarterback or a running back. You bring in a quarterback from the outside, they don't know the place. They don't know the playbook. They haven't ever thrown to these receivers. So I think Jake Browning, just hope he keeps you in the playoff chase. And I don't think they should make like some big trade or some big move.
So what if they unretire somebody?
Brett Favre.
No. Now I'm not going to do that. But
Johnny Unitas.
No. But let me ask you this.
Boomer Esiason's coming back.
Boomer Esiason. Him and his walker. Actually, he's a pretty good podcast host. Actually, he does a pretty good job over there in New York. I'll give him his props. What about this? And I know you're probably going to just shoot holes in this like Swiss cheese, but I'm going to throw it out here anyway, right? What if the Bengals can convince Tom Brady to unretire, sign him to a 1-year contract, and instead of paying him a bunch of money that they probably don't have, maybe they give him stop it. I mean, I think you look better that way, but anyway. And then they give him partial team ownership in the Cincinnati Bengals, much like the Raiders are doing.
First of all, it's not happening. Second of all,
it's my fantasy, okay?
It's not happening. There's no chance of that happening. Second of all, he's already a partial owner of the Raiders, and I personally don't think he should be able to if he's a broadcaster. That I still do not like that he can do both, but that's a topic for another show.
Yeah.
It's hard to not become an owner. Once you buy into ownership, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm not an owner anymore. I'm going to go join that team." It's really, you have to sell your shares. It's a long process, so it's impossible. And Brady hasn't played for a few years. Like it's just not going to happen. Even so, why would Brady want to play in front of that offensive line? I know the receivers are amazing.
I was going to say, why wouldn't you want to play with Chase and T?
But it's just it wouldn't work. I'd rather have Jake Browning at this point. He at least has been with the organization for years, knows the receivers. I think it wouldn't make sense, and it's definitely not happening.
All right, so last thing then, for me at least anyway, do they need to go get a backup quarterback from somewhere in case something happens to Browning?
If something happens to Browning, they're done anyway. I mean, I just don't I don't know who you get.
You know, like a Jameis Winston type or somebody like that who could at least come in and do something with them?
If the Giants are willing to take a conditional 7th round pick in 2027, yes, take him. But otherwise, don't give up any big draft capital for any quarterback at this point. something like that, just to take him off the roster. But no, I would not give up much at all.
Okay. What else you got, man?
Jameis Wilson's fun dude, but I think he's a great locker room guy. He's always fun, smiling, but he throws way too many picks. He's reckless, so you can't give up much for him.
So do you know either one of those two quarterbacks? Red Hot Reds podcast is chiming in. I know that's Roger.
They're on the practice squad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They signed to the practice squad.
Right.
And Sean Cooper's you don't want him starting, trust me. You do not want him starting for you. He's been on the Packers the last few years. It would be a disaster.
Okay.
So I mentioned this is our chance to swap out one team from our predictions, AFC and NFC. We get to swap out one from our predictions. We had 7 teams. You had, let's see, you had the Broncos. You had the Texans. These are division winners. You had the Bengals. And you had the Bills, of course. And your wild card teams were Ravens, Chiefs, and Patriots. You can take out one of those teams. If you take a division winner, you have to put a new one in. One of those teams and put a new one in. Which one are you doing in the AFC?
Give me the people I had again.
Okay. So you picked Denver.
Okay.
You picked the Texans, Houston Texans. You picked the Bengals. These are all division winners. And you picked the Buffalo Bills. Of course you did. Who didn't pick the Buffalo Bills? And your wildcard teams are Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, and New England Patriots. You can swap out either a wild card or a division winner. If you could swap out one, you only get one. Who would you swap out?
Well, the logical thing would be to take the Bengals out and put Baltimore in. But I'm not going to go against my Bengals. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the New England Patriots out of the wild card, and I'm going to insert the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. My picks, I had Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the Baltimore Ravens, not the Bengals, and I had the Buffalo Bills. So we had 3 of the same division winners. And my wild card teams were the Bengals, Steelers, and Chiefs. I'm going to switch actually a division winner. I'm going to take the AFC South and swap out the Texans, miss the playoffs, and have the Colts win the AFC South. NFC, same question. Here were your division winners. You had, let's see. Let me get back up there. You had the 49ers winning the West. They're 2-0. That might be actually a smart pick. You had the Buccaneers. You had the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. And your wild card teams were the Commanders, the Vikings, and the Cardinals. Which one would you swap out?
I'm going to make you happy here.
You have to, right?
I have to. Some things I do just to get a rise out of you, right? And I'm not going to deny that whatsoever, right? If you remember, right, and I know you remember, I said my bold prediction was that your newfound defensive player that you got from Dallas wasn't going to be able to play very much. He was going to have surgery, and that was going to keep you from making the playoffs. Yet, to be very honest with you, Green Bay has been the most dominant NFC team that I've watched. So I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to take the Vikings out.
I thought you'd go with that. I thought you'd take the Vikings out. Not surprising. Okay. And you had the 49ers winning the West. I had the Rams. I also had the Buccaneers winning the South. I had the Packers winning the Central.
Okay.
The
Central.
Oh, yeah. Central. They used to have Tampa Bay in the Central.
Right.
They used the same division. And I also had the Eagles. So, my wildcard teams were the Commanders, Lions, and Cardinals. Gosh, do I have to take – can I not take one out?
You don't have to make a change.
I don't think – The only thing, I don't think I'm going to make a change. I'll just say this, though. The Falcons' defense is real impressive. So I could definitely see the Falcons. The Falcons played the Panthers and Saints 4 times. So I could see the Falcons making it, maybe the Commanders not making it. I'm not necessarily ready to do that. But if I had to pick, that's probably what I would do. Okay. So we got to talk about the Colts-Broncos game real quick.
All right, let's do it.
It's somewhat controversial. They called a 15-yard leverage penalty against the Denver Broncos after Spencer Schrader, the Colts kicker, missed a 60-yard kick. It wasn't close. It was wide right, and it was short. He did not have the leg for a 60-yard kick. Yep. The rule states that a defensive player cannot use his teammate to gain leverage to block the kick. There is also a hurdling penalty that says you cannot jump over the kicking team's line to block the kick. You can't jump over the line. So
you have to go around
to block the kick. Goalies' penalties protect the vulnerable offensive linemen from defenders landing on top of them. Here's my issue. It did not really affect the play at all. But what it did was it not only flipped the winning team because the 15-yard penalty made a 45-yard kick and Spencer Schrader made it, but it also flipped the spread. Broncos were favored by 1.5 and they were ahead by 2. So that flipped the spread and they ended up losing by a point, and then the Colts covered the spread and the Colts won. First of all, do you like the leverage and hurdling rules? Do you think it's necessary?
I'm not sure if it's necessary. I don't necessarily have a problem with them. I understand why they're doing it. And I guess if I was a hurt lineman, I'd probably want it done. But I don't really see that many linemen getting hurt. So I'm not sure why we are so concerned with it.
I agree. I think the reason it's a penalty is all of a sudden teams were doing it like crazy. They were jumping on others' backs. That's not what happened here. He pushed off his lineman. They were literally like leapfrogging, jumping off backs to try to jump a kick. That should be illegal. But using your teammate to push off, not land on their back and jump, that is, I think, why they have the penalty. So you can't use your teammate at all. So I don't love the penalty that way. And you're a conspiracy theorist like me. Why does it seem like every time there's a controversial play, it's right at the end and it somehow flips the spread? Do you notice that?
Yeah, it's always a gambling thing.
It just seems like this completely changed everything, the winner and the spread. Do you think that these officials are told or they have an agreement that if it's close, make sure you do something, call this, and then we'll take care of you? Do you think that goes on?
I don't know if you're going to like this answer or not, but I think the NFL, much like most sports, but I think the NFL does it more, and it's more obvious, and they don't care that it's obvious. I think they're going after and they're chasing the almighty dollar more than any other sport seems to be. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. There's no doubt about it. Roger Goodell, his goal is to make the owners richer. That's what he does. He doesn't care about the players, doesn't care about player safety, even though he says, if you care about player safety, why are you playing Thursday games?
Yeah.
Not letting people recover. So, yeah. What's up next? Do you have NFL stuff? Or are we going to go to the top 10?
So I'm going to do another NFL thing, but I'm going to do it on my own because somebody doesn't like to be in the midst of controversy here. So I'm going to do this one by myself. I'm going to do another podcast. I'm going to do a lot of things called Seeing the Whole Field. So I'm going to do I'll preview it here right now. I'll do it within the next 48 hours or so. I don't like what the NFL did over the weekend. I'll give you just a little bit of a hint. 5 teams didn't do it. But the NFL didn't make people do it, yet they made it be done for someone else. So I'll breach all those things here in just a moment. Or excuse me, I'll breach all those things in another episode that I'll be doing of a short here on Lights Out Sports. But I'll do that without Cheese so that, I don't want him to have to walk across the hot coals or anything like that, right?
I just want to keep it positive. I I just want peace, man. I just want
You
peace.
just want peace?
Keep it positive.
Well,
I appreciate that. I really appreciate doing that. But no, it is. I get why you want to talk about it. So people, make sure you check out and follow. What is your X account?
well, now, right at the moment, it's still the same, but it's going to change to All Gloves Off. So you'll be able to follow us at All Gloves Off.
Okay. Sounds good. So, are we ready for the top 10?
Yeah, man, let's do our top 10. I'll tell you what, before we do it, I want to test this music out real quick, okay? So you let me know up or down, right? So just give me some hand signals or something. I'm going to put this music on in the background, and if it's too loud, let me know. All right, so this is what we're going to use for the top 10. Now, let me turn it down this way. Now, how about now?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So we'll leave that play in the background as we do our NFL Top 10. Again, we're going to do it a little bit different. This is the first episode of Lights Out Sports. So we're going to do 5 for Cheese and 5 for me. We're going to do this one on rules that we would change in the National Football League. But before we do that, I want to do this. There were 2 hosts that were here with us before Cheese that were here on the podcast. We started out with Spaces with myself and Mitch Middlebrook. I want to thank him for everything that he has done for us, for this show, to get it where it is. And then, of course, we had Gabe for a little while, too. So I wanted to make sure that I gave a shout-out to each one of those other 2 hosts that have taught me some things, that have been able to allow me to continue this show now with Cheese and gotten it to this point where we are at today, a part of All Gloves Off Sports Media. Just wait till you see the changes that are coming, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'll like at least most of them. And if you don't, unless you don't like it, we're okay with it. We can handle it. We're big boys.
Hey, if they still watch, I'm okay if they're not liking us. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes me. I know it's shocking, but not everyone likes me. Just 99.9%.
And that's why you want to keep it positive, right?
Yes, very positive. Absolutely.
All right, buddy, I'll let you go first. What rule would you change in the NFL?
This is my hands down number 1. I hate it so much. The overtime rule. Why play another quarter? Do the college overtime. I wouldn't even do the college overtime. First and goal in the 10. These players play 17-game season. Their bodies wear down. Make them play another 10 minutes of football. And there could be a tie. There should never be a tie. College fixed this years ago. First and goal on the 10. Take turns until, just like the college, until someone obviously scores, the other one doesn't. Maybe even take away. You can't even kick field goals. You could only score or not. But get rid of an extra 10 minutes. Just first and goal on the 10. And no ties. That would change the overtime rule. What is your first?
I'll get to the overtime rule here in a moment because I've got that one on my list too.
Okay.
I kind of gave this one away. I want no teams under 500 in the playoffs. None. If that means 3 teams from another division, fine. I don't care if those teams, like if there's 2 or 3 winning teams, and then make them play each other or have some kind of tournament to do that very last one, that would be much better in my book than having an under 500 team go to the playoffs. So I want absolutely none under 500 teams in the playoffs.
It's happened a few times. It's awful.
Yes.
And they could host a 13 or 14 win team.
Right, if they win a division, yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, my number 2 is we need 2 buys by week. I just mentioned that the wear and tear on these players, they add an extra game, but they didn't add an extra bye. I'm actually okay with 18-game season. I actually think they should do it, but only if they add a second bye week. Everybody needs 2 bye weeks. Wear and tear in your bodies, all these injuries. So there's nothing wrong with expanding the season. Let it go. Add another game, add another bye. Let it go a couple more weeks. Have the Super Bowl 3rd week of February. But yeah, I would add a second bye week.
And that would actually take it to President's Day, I believe, right?
President's Weekend. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not have Super Bowl?
Why not have the Super Bowl on President's Week? I mean, To me, that's a no-brainer, and I agree with you. So I actually had a few extra ones just in case I had that one on there as well. Give an extra bye week. I was even going to get a little more specific and say the bye week should be during that Thursday night football game. Whoever plays the Thursday night football game should have a bye week either before or after that Thursday night game. So, all right, I'm going to go with the face mask penalty. I've seen a lot of face mask penalties where they grab a hold of the mask and then they let it go. They're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. We used to have a rule where it was a 5-yard one or a 15-yard one. And from what I have seen, because I've not seen anybody get a 5-yard penalty for it anymore, I think that rule's done. I would like to see that rule come back. The face mask penalty could be either 5 yards if you grab it and get right off of it, or if you hang on to it, of course, then you're going to get docked for those 15 yards.
I like that. I never would have thought of that. That is good. You're right, though. Sometimes they start to grab, they let go. And other times they rip it. It's the same 15 yards. Okay. So one thing that annoys me, it's definitely annoyed me this past Sunday, as someone who now is a content creator, is 8 or 9 1 o'clock Sunday games, 1 o'clock Eastern. They need to be spread out more. You can't have 9 games at 1 and 3 games at 4. That's insane. Especially someone who's trying to cover every game and do a recap every game. It's very difficult. But even so, for the fans, I would even do this. You have a Thursday game, you have a Monday game, sometimes 2 Monday games, which I like. Some people don't. But
I'll get into that in a minute.
But why not have a Friday game too? Okay, it's high school football night, but who cares? I don't care about high school football. Why not have a Friday game too? If you're going to have a Thursday game, why not have a Friday? And say maybe 7 games at 1 and 6 at 4. Spread it out more. So here's the point. Like, okay, so Fox gets that 4:25 Eastern start game of the week. And the next week at CBS, they take turns. Why not? If Fox has the 4:25 game, the second big game that day is the CBS one. So CBS has the big 1 o'clock game, then Fox has the 4:25. So you have 2 huge games. You know, sometimes all the 1 o'clock games are all the worst matchups of the week. And then you have 2 games at 4, 3 that are really good matchups, and you can only watch one. So I would just spread the games out there.
All right, so I'm going to stick with your theme here for a second. I'm going to say this. The standalone games, if you want to have 2, Thursday, Monday, whatever it is, they can't overlap. That is the most annoying thing in the world, right? I don't care if the first game goes into overtime and they push back the second game. I'm fine. I want to, if you're going to do it, like kind of what they did this past Monday, where they had it to where it was timed out pretty well, because they started one game really early and then the other one. Now the problem with it is it goes late. So that West Coast game, went to like midnight East Coast time. Are people really going to stay up and watch that? I don't know. I guess it depends on how big of a fan you really are at football. And I mean, baseball does it all the time. Baseball has West Coast games every day, and people on the East Coast stay up to watch them. So I don't necessarily like it, but if you're going to do it, they can't overlap.
I agree. I like the way they did it last night. I liked watching 6 straight hours on Monday, and they used not one, but both teams were West Coast. They could have done, Jets at Chargers. That would have been disastrous because people that are Jets fans, a lot of them can't stay up because they have to go to work the next day. But they picked 2 teams on the West Coast. So if you're going to do that, yes, exactly what the NFL did. They picked, the early game was a Central Time team and an East Coast team. And both teams were West. Obviously, there's some Raiders and Charger fans on the East Coast, but for the most part, their fan bases are West. So, yeah, I agree with you. I like that.
Do we have 1 more or 2 more we're doing?
I have 2 more.
Okay, good. Because I had 2 more too, and I thought, oh shoot, have I counted wrong? I mean, it is 5, and sometimes
I have 76 more. Here we go. All right. 3 a.m. We're still going. Okay.
Good.
Just kidding, everyone. Okay. Thanksgiving. I would change things.
Over 100 people are still with us, Chief. So I think we're okay, buddy.
Yes. Well, that's good. Thanksgiving. I would change Thanksgiving. The Lions and Cowboys do not deserve to always just get the home game. I hate that. Especially when I was a kid growing up, the Lions were just bad, like for years. I mean, we're stuck with Lions Bears since the early game, but it's actually not that. But it's a huge advantage. It's late in the year. You're about 3/4 of the way through the season. To have a home game on the Thursday is a huge advantage because the other team not only has a short week, they have to travel. So somehow the Lions and Cowboys, because most teams only get one Thursday game, get that home game late in the year. It's a huge advantage. So every team should get a chance. You should rotate on who gets home games on Thanksgiving. It used to be just the Lions. It was Lions-Packers only. The Cowboys then jumped in there and got the game. But I don't like that. It's a huge, like I said, it's a huge advantage for Lions and Cowboys. They should not get that. I think we should rotate. I love the 3 games on Thanksgiving, but rotate the teams and who gets it at home. And if you get a home game, next time you play Thanksgiving, you have to go on the road.
Okay. I'm not going to be that crazy about stuff. So here's mine.
How is that crazy? How is that crazy? I just want to be fair, man. I just want peace.
It sounds complicated, sir. I don't want to do it. We talked about this a little last week when we spent some time, and you educated me. I wasn't sure if that was ever going to happen, but you did it to me. We talked about field goals last week.
I like me.
Oh yes, you did a very good job. Philadelphia, Kansas City within 3 points. Tampa Bay, Houston was 1 point. Indianapolis, Denver, 1 point. Dallas, New York, 3 points. Cincinnati, Jacksonville, 4 points. So there were a lot of games, is my point here, that were decided by less than a touchdown. And I think this makes the field goals that much more important. And here's what I want to do. If you're kicking a field goal under 50 yards, it's 3 points. If you're kicking a field goal between 50 and 60 yards, it's 4 points. And if you can make a field goal that is 60 plus yards, I'm going to give you 6 points for that field goal.
You know what will happen? That would change the whole game. You're going to start getting kickers drafted in the second round.
Yes. I want them paid.
You love kickers.
I really do, because it's not that I love them. I think they play a much more vital role. I mean, how many people did they miss the extra point?
They're not real people. Let's be honest, they're just kickers.
Oh, yes, they are. They are real people. They ride in on unicorns and magic carpets. I think that would make the ending, you would almost never be out of a game. And people would stick to the very end of every football game, except for, when the Bears play the Lions. So it would be, it would make things more interesting. It would keep people's attention. And it would also glorify a position that a lot of you football people just will not acknowledge. I want to the kickers, sir.
Here's the problem. There's one problem with that. If a kicker misses like 2 kicks in the game that can be worth like 10 points, then oh my gosh, and you lose by 2. Like, it puts more pressure on the kickers. Already very got to be a lot of pressure on them. Late kicks, late in the half, late in the game. So
but you're helping me here. If there's so much pressure on these kickers, why aren't we paying them? Why do we look so down upon those poor guys?
This would be more pressure on them, so you have to pay them more, and you have to use higher graphics on them. It would certainly be interesting. I don't love it because I don't want more special teams. I don't want kickers and punters. I actually don't like these K balls. I want the beaten up balls that are hard to kick. I don't like the fact that you can kick a 60-yard, no problem, personally. But certainly it would make it hard to hold a lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Cardinals probably wouldn't be 2-0 right now.
I don't know. Have you seen the Panthers kicker?
Well, okay.
What's
your last one, please?
This should be something I think should be banned. Okay. The Sunday Night Football song by Carrie Underwood is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I honestly, when I hear it, when I forget to mute it, I get so mad at myself. That song should be banned. In fact, it should never exist. I want a time machine, go back in time. I don't want to think of harm to happen to Carrie Underwood. I'm not saying that, but to record that song should be stopped. It's criminal. and it should be a crime to ever play that song again.
So you want to go back to the Hank Jr. song? Is that what you want to do?
I'd much rather have that. So that song, I like the Junior song, but the Sunday Night Song by Carrie Underwood is so horrific. I cannot hear it. I hate it so much. It's the worst song I've ever heard of.
Well, we've been waiting all day for Sunday night, sir.
My screen's not frozen. I'm just not saying anything.
Okay. I was wondering. I was like, man, what happened now? Okay.
I don't want to comment. I've
All
said
right.
my piece. Your turn. What's your last one?
Well, this one is the one that Ricky Logan came up with. I got to give him his props here, right? So we were talking about rules that we thought needed to be changed, and I was like, I don't really like some of the other ones that I've got. I need one more good one. And he came up with this. You said overtime, you want to do it the way college does it. Well, Ricky and I were talking. I want to do one 10-minute quarter, and whatever happens, happens. You know, going in, you got 10 more minutes. It puts an angst on that 10 more minutes. And yes, you're probably going to end in a few ties, and that would upset some people. Well, I don't know. I like the sudden death kind of aspect of it.
So if another team scores a touchdown, or even 2 touchdowns, hit 14, you keep going. There's 10 minutes no matter what.
Correct. You get a 1 10-minute quarter. And if the other team is really good and they can, march down the field and take 8 minutes off the clock and then they score, well, now the other team's only got 2 minutes to try to do the same thing back.
I just hate ties. That's the biggest issue I have with overtime.
You know why
there's
we
going to
don't
be a
have
tie.
ties?
There's going to be a tie this year because 10 minutes. It used to be 15. They're like, oh no, that's too much. Let's make it 10. But it's led to more ties. Someone needs to win. I don't like. Hey, they're 6, 7, and 1 in the standings. No. I can't stand that. There should be a winner. In college overtime, it goes quicker and less wear and tear on the bodies. But I get what you're saying.
So I'm going to make another prediction for you. I mean, lights out sports. I've already made one prediction that the Arkansas Razorbacks will knock off Notre Dame in 2 weeks and knock them out of the college football playoff. Let's make the NFL prediction right now. Vegas doesn't like ties. There will not be a tie in this National Football League schedule whatsoever the entire season. You won't have one.
I'm going to say that there will be one game there's a tie.
All right, so let's make that be our tiebreaker if we end up doing that with our predictions and stuff. So I'm going to say no tie. You're going to say one tie or more.
One tie or more. And by the way, I looked back at some of our predictions, and the over-unders, you had 19 overs and 13 unders. I had 23 overs and 9 unders. I had 23.
Wow.
Very optimistic. I'm very positive. I just want peace.
Okay, just want peace
I just
and
want
love.
everyone to win. I went under with the Bears. That's looking really good.
It is.
I think you did too, though. So
I did, but still.
I think so. We both went under 8.5 Dolphins. I think we got that one sewn up.
Yeah, I think we did. All right, buddy. Hey, is there anything that you want to say, you want to add to the end of our show, man? 2 hours, 30 minutes and counting here.
This is a quicker show for us lately. Well, there's no prediction shows, though. Follow me on X at Football Cheese, football and then CAGEZ. Make sure you follow me. I follow back all sports fans. And also follow me on YouTube at Football with Cheese, the with in there. And I follow, I go over college football, NFL, and big focus in the spring on the NFL draft.
All right. I wanted to take a look here. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at us. We are number 1, sir. Lights out sports. Number 1. We follow over 72. Let's see. How many are we at now? 7,326 people on our X account, which is about to change. It's everything for you guys will stay right there. We're not going to move it too much as far as that part goes, but the actual @ will change to our all gloves off moniker here. And man, I want to thank you guys. We're number 1. It's good to be number 1, sir. It really is. So of all the people that we follow, we are top right now. We're over 100 views tonight. Thank you guys very much for that, for our very first episode of Lights Out Sports. Man, I ain't got much more to say, except this. You know, we've had all the other music that's different. We got to have a different outro, right?
Oh, what we got? Is it Judy in Disguise by John Fred and his Playboy Band?
You're showing your age here. Calling your age. Showing your age. All right, put some guitar in there for a change, right? We've done a lot of the kind of hip hop kind of stuff now. We'll throw some guitar stuff in the end. You tell us what you guys like. You guys like the new setup? You guys like the new music? Like the old cheese? I mean, what do you guys like? I don't know. Let's tell us on our X accounts. We've gone more, and now it's on our Facebook. We're going to get not only Facebook, but you're going to see us jump into the audio-only platforms. We're going to be not live, but we will be a day later on Spotify and on Apple Music and all of those places where you get those XM satellite radio, all of that. We are all going to jump into that market, and I can't wait. It's going to be more and more available for each and every one of you guys.
People are going to hear and see us everywhere, but they're not going to get tired of us. That's what they want. People want more.
They want more lights out.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. Cheese, thank you for being a part of this Lights Out Sports podcast. Thank you very much to everyone who's had anything to do with our success as we jump into this new media venture. We thank you all because we couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. And as we always say at the end, the only thing that's fair in life, guys, is a baseball hit between the third and first base. Good evening, everyone. Oh, you know what? Oh, I messed this up. I forgot. We have an outro now.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are still live. We have an outro now. And here it is.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
You're still alive.
Welcome.